Today's video is obviously about vibration. Today's video is about energy healing. Today's video is about frequency. So everything in the universe vibrates. Everything in the universe moves. So the only thing that is constant, the only thing that doesn't change in the universe is change. And so in order for us to really understand the mind, body, and spirit, I would say that one of the languages to understand the mind, body, and spirit is through the language of energy. Is through the language of vibration. And being able to distinguish and separate between different states. Like, how do we understand where a problem is coming from? Like, where is that problem? You know, we'd have to identify a location. We'd have to identify as a time. We'd have to identify an amplification or an amplitude or the strength of that. So all of these things are taken into consideration, and all of these things can be spoken from a perspective of vibration and understanding that we are multidimensional beings. And to my mind, the way it works, it's not even to my mind, this is scientifically, the scientific fact, is that high vibrations dominate lower vibrations. And in this particular metaphor, the high vibrations are the ones that move the quickest. The slower the vibration is the lower the vibration, because it's dense, it sinks to the bottom. Again, just to be clear, we're not speaking about this from a terms of good and bad. We're speaking about this just purely from a frequency. To a degree, to a degree, there are no bad frequencies, to a degree. So crazy there. Yeah, so to a degree there are no bad frequencies. I've just seen that my batteries thing, there'll be one day when we get this stuff organized, but it's all cool. So there are no bad frequencies. There are just resonance. There is only resonance. So the main thing that you have to understand is that in my world, when it comes to vibration and frequency, we basically say that God is not a mathematician. God is an artist. So when I'm creating art, I'm not thinking about the number of brush strokes. I'm not thinking about the technicalities. I'm just in that moment of pure creation. A creator creates. I'm in that moment of pure creation. I'm not thinking about the numbers. So we, as in humans, who have a mind to interpret, understand these frequencies, look at these numbers, and then we see the code. So as long as I'm vibrating, there will always be a measurement that you can take. Well, if you've got the right devices, obviously there's different devices. But let's just say as long as there was a device to measure, then we can always take a snapshot of that measurement. But that creative energy is not thinking in that mind frame. He's not thinking in that mindset. This is really important. And so instead of thinking of the world as maths, it would be better to think about things from a perspective of harmony, about things from a perspective of resonance. Once you understand resonance, harmony, and balance, equals and opposites, adding and subtracting, dividing and multiplying from any number. So it's not that particular, I'm going to contradict myself. Again, this stuff has to be taken, yeah, my videos are long, so I always break down the nuance. So that one is, you can't take that for 100% true. Like, there are certain frequencies that are quote unquote bad, but that's only because we have frequencies within us that are harmonic, and other frequencies will be disruptive to that. But that particular frequency could be really, really beneficial for another type of being. You see what I'm saying? So it's about understanding who you are. What we're about to do today is show you, like, in my mind, what the advanced ideas when it comes to the actual manifestation, when it comes to the actual embodying of know thyself. So we understand the mental body, the universe is mental, we understand that. But then we do have an actual physical body as well. And so how does the mental body, which most of us are aware of because of our thoughts, and obviously we're not just thinking about thoughts as well, but you know, we'll just keep it thoughts as well, just for now. How does that mental body lower itself in its density, i.e. make it more heavier, to the point where it then gets into the physical body? And so there's a relationship with all of these bodies. So these are basically shown as the seven bodies. And most people, when they have a problem, they think about their physical body, if it's physical. When they're upset or when they've had a bad day and they're in an emotional body, they think about their emotion. And then when they're in the head one day, they're thinking about their mental. And so what I'm saying is that people, not everybody, but it can be very, very easy to see these lines as being completely solid. And when you understand vibration, when you understand blending, when you understand compounds, when you understand like the mixing, you will understand that these waves interfere with each other. So when we're looking at the physical body, we wouldn't look at that in isolation. So we understand that the universe is one. And so this is where the idea of obviously holistic therapies come into. This is obviously where we're going with this. Like why it's better to treat the body, or why it's better to have a holistic mindset as opposed to a siloed, linear, singular kind of mindset, or whatever divided mindset. That's the word. That would be the opposite of holistic, is a divided mindset. And so for me, everything is spiritual, or everything is Buddhic, or everything is Christic, I could say, in this particular narrative. And so yeah, you can read this stuff. This again, I'm not going to be reading all of this. This is kind of just like visual representations. It's not for me to teach and go through this stuff. Like obviously you could pause the video, you can go through all of this stuff, but it's just to understand the levels and just to give my perspective on the fact that all of these bodies are affecting each other. All of these bodies are existing in the now. And so when we're understanding, so when we're asking that question, who am I? All of these aspects would need to be taken into consideration. Who am I and where am I? So where are these bodies? You know, because some of these bodies will be trapped, let's just say, within your, let's say, bodily location, like your body. But something like your mental body can travel, is infinite. If you obviously know how to tap into it. Obviously we tap into it through our imagination. So it's pretty revolutionary when you go from a divisory mindset into a holistic mindset. So again, this for me is an extension of oneness, wholeness, you know, and the healing has to be a part of it. Well, for me anyway, healing has to be is a major part of the story. That is like one of the holy trinities, I would say, if we because what we're doing is we understand that the universe is mental, but we can't be just stuck in the head. We have to also respect the physical body as well. And so that's where the holistic idea of energy healing and spiritual healing happens, because vibrational healing taps into all of these elements, has the possibility to affect all of these elements holistically. And there's very few modalities that allow that. I would say the number one modality is vibrational healing or energy healing, energy work. And so, you know, I had a video that I dropped months ago Yeah, so the video's paused. Yeah, so I'm just yeah, that's yeah, the video is paused. Um oh, I actually have the SE mic. Huh, I'm so funny. Yeah, we'll just leave it. Yeah, I didn't even realize I had this mic. I've got two cameras, so the other camera's just, yeah, like I said, a bit of technical issues today. Um so again, this is not about me going through this stuff. This is not like breaking this stuff down. Like, I'm interested in really knowing about this level of information. Like, this is the level that I study to, because it's important, obviously, as a practitioner to know the detail. But all I'll do is just pick out points in terms of like how complex we are as systems. And even today, I'm around someone's house who's also a healer, who's a healer as well. And someone comes to his house. This person shares a story about where they kept on going to. This person had kept on going to a doctor, um, for a problem that they had had for many years, like a problem, a problem that they had for many years. This German doctor. So in Germany, basically, they're much more open to holistic therapies, way more than Britain. I'm in the UK. Like, so for example, homeopathy, which you could say is like the highest science of alternative healing to a degree. Again, it's arguable, but essentially to be qualified, you'd have to be, you'd go to university for a few years. Like, it's a degree level kind of stuff. So the doctor is like, let me send round somebody to check the location of your house. This is what I'm saying in terms of where we are. That they sent around someone to the house, and they found out that this person was underneath, that there was a river or a stream that was running underneath his bed. So this is bad, by the way. You don't want moving energy when you're sleeping. So I'm trying to rest, but then I've got water, running water, a stream running with all the animals, with all the energies going underneath my button, underneath my space. And so the person moved the bed and they healed themselves. There wasn't no drugs that they took. There wasn't even any special spiritual healing things that went on. Nothing homeopathy went on. Nothing. Just a position of them moving their bed from one side of the room to another side of the room was enough to completely heal this person. Now, when I'm talking about vibration, how many doctors in the world, when they're looking at symptoms, when they're looking at diseases, would have in their mind that the position of their bed may be the issue that's causing this sickness? I'd imagine less than 0.1% of the millions and millions of doctors out there. And so this guy could have went through a whole, just imagine a scenario where we don't identify that as the problem, because we're on an allopathic path. We're on a medicine is the cure, like drugs is the only cure. So that guy could have went through probably 50, 60, 70 kind of drugs, or maybe just at some point after that 60 drugs, working with his system, you could potentially say disrupting his system, because his body wasn't calling out for that. It was something completely different. Just the simpleness of moving a bed, because this doctor understands energy. This doctor understands moving energy is not great when you're resting. So it's not that moving energy is bad energy, but again, it's moving energy ain't great when you're trying to rest. And so that's exactly what I'm talking about. So when with a graph like this, we're essentially going into how everything is connected in terms of the chakras, in terms of colors, in terms of the levels within the levels within the earth, which then relate to the levels within, or let's just say the spiritual planes. That's way to put it. how your body works on the spiritual planes, or how the different bodies work on the spiritual planes, is also what's affecting your so-called health, your state of mind, your emotional body. And obviously this is basically your auras. This is obviously your auras. It's just a different interpretation of your aura, which is many layers. So aura is just like a catch-all term for the many layers of your energy. That's essentially what it is. And again, today's video is not about me explaining all of this. Like, obviously, I'm into all of this stuff. So, but, and also the people that I work with are into this stuff. But it's just to show you, it's just to give you a taster of the complexities of your body. You know, how each finger is linked to an element. You know, how we've got your chakras and how they relate to certain parts of your body. How you have same way how your brain is split, so is your body. Like, obviously my wife is studying homeopathy, and she was telling me stories of in homeopathy, that when you have healing, there's certain parts of the body, there's certain sides of the body that they're expecting that healing to go through first, because the body is also, just like how the brain is split, the body is also split into left and right, and higher and lower, and you know, different points vertically and horizontally. And so we've got a whole bunch of charts. So essentially, obviously, with this kind of, when it comes to spiritual healing, we've obviously got the Ayurvedic, we've got the Indian, which is the Ayurvedic, we've obviously got Chinese medicine, you know, we've got homeopathy, let's just say, which is just like the Western version, which is obviously big in India. But that's where basically I would say the West, you know, focuses its most mind on, which is a combination of all of them, essentially. If you do homeopathy, you're studying it all, basically. And so, yeah, these are just charts. These are just charts that we've got access to. And again, the point is not to go through all of these charts, is to show how everything corresponds. So anyone that's been on my chat knows that I'm into synchronicity. So you can see why, like, from a personal perspective, I couldn't leave off vibrational healing off the table, because vibrational healing is how I, with my imagination of trying to understand the complexity and almost like the paradox of how there is the all, but then there is also the one. How does that relationship between the all and the one play out? And it plays out through understanding the law of correspondence. It plays out by understanding the law of vibration. And so, you know, for example, I've got a divination app, you know, and with that divination app, we've obviously got the 5 elements heavily in there, heavily invested in there. Now, each one of these 5 elements are obviously linked to many other things as well within healing. So it's linked to a number, it links to animals, it links to planets, so on and so forth. And so when you start to understand these correspondences, you're now, and especially if you know how to work with these energies, you've now moved into the realm of alchemy. And so I would basically say that if you're going to call yourself an alchemist, or if that's the kind of inclinations that you have, and you're really interested in it, then I would say it would play out in 2 main. I would say that for me, again, this is personal, so I have about another 100 ways in which they could play out, but for some reason I've just chosen for this law of correspondence in my imagination, in my worldview, in the people that I'm bringing around me, in the team that I'm building, to play out in the realm of synchronicity in the realm of divination. The divination, again, we're just talking about the connection with the divine. How do you have a relationship with the divine where you're able to listen to the divine at all times and speak to, or let's just say communicate, have communion with the divine at all times? And so for me, divination makes sense when it comes to it from a logical perspective, because in this universe of that is mental, because that is the first number one principle, the universe is mental. In a universe that is mental, we would have to understand that our attention and our imagination, our intuition are the key skills to develop, and empathy. So I would actually just say, just to be clear, empathy, intuition, and wisdom are the key skills that I would say our soul has come down here to do. It's come down here to connect. It's come down here to share. It's come down here to build, to create, to basically be a part of the story. Yeah. And so divination is one aspect, because you build your own narratives. You start understanding archetypes. And then you get into energy work. So I'm not saying that everyone needs to be an energy healer. That would be like silly. Like everyone, has got their own lane. But I'm saying that intuition, understanding that the universe is energy, obviously you would then need to tap into energy work. Like, if you're not doing energy work, it would be difficult for me to understand that what are you really cultivating? Or I'm just basically saying, like, you can see it through the eyes of energy. When you understand that the universe is energy, then then everything becomes energy work. So when I mean energy work, I'm not just saying like meditate for a whole hour or go do some qigong or go fly to a mountain and whatever. No, I'm talking about like your communication becomes energy work. Your communication becomes divination. So all words are spells. The words that we're speaking are vibration. So it's either interfering with a wave in a harmonious way, in a coherent way, or it is being disruptive to a particular wave in a let's just say, quote unquote, good way. And obviously I don't use the words good and bad. So everything becomes about healing. Everything becomes an opportunity to heal. Because an alchemist is going to understand the energy of the moment. They're going to be able to read the room spiritually with all of the different layers at play, and then choose to either interfere or just observe. Do I want to embody, or do I want to be the observer? Do I want to be the watcher, or do I want to just play in this moment? Do I want to be playful with this moment? I'm reading the comments. That's too funny. So that's why we're doing what we're doing, basically. For me, these are the ultimate arenas for me to, one, help people, because why not? My cup is full. I live in abundance. But then also my soul, I understand the bigger picture of basically we need to understand and tap into these infinite games. Yeah, follow this channel. I don't know who you are, Promise Music, but yeah, I don't think I've seen your name before. But I would I would recommend you follow this channel, because we go deep. Like I'm and just go to my channel and just like look at certain videos and just read whatever you want to read, or watch whatever you want to watch. Like the way I try to do it is just cover one topic and just go all the way in. So I might start slow, but then half an hour in, an hour in, 2 hours in, we went, pretty deep into the rabbit hole. So if you're of that kind of mind, you like that kind of stuff, then, this is a really good channel for you. If you want to kind of stay shallow and just like real base level stuff, then this channel's probably not for you. But, it just depends on your type. I can't really speak to who you are. But yeah, we go in on this channel. So, so yeah, all of this stuff This basically is me 1 year down the line. So yeah, one of the things I didn't explain is that I basically did a masterclass. So when I first started my second ever video, or maybe my third ever video, or I believe my first masterclass, which I kept private, I had no followers, just kind of just for friends and family, basically. I did a 4-hour masterclass, me basically introducing this concept already, but I kept it as a masterclass. And I was just speaking about, look, these are the kind of stuff that I'm interested in. I had literally just bought some of these technologies. I can say that I've now been working with some of these technologies for about a year, let's just say. And so we're 1 year down the line. I'm really, really happy with, let's say, the trial and the reports and the feedback that's been happening. And then now we're about to go full speed with it, basically, and integrate this into all of the other modalities and the ways that I'm trying to help people, basically, and also help myself. I'm always going to be a better student than a teacher and a healer. So, this is beautiful. I haven't actually looked at this for like a year, so I'm seeing it fresh. But this is really, really nice to see in terms of my philosophy circle. So these are kind of the stuff that I've spoken about already in many other videos, now that I've actually got, you know, a history of videos. And so, you know, let's just say that the universe is mental. When I'm talking about communicating with the divine, I'm basically saying that I need to, I was even saying it today as well to someone, is like, you know, this person's a churchgoer, and, you know, it was wonderful. They're a churchgoer. It's fantastic. They're building a relationship with the divine. And I'm like, you know, but how do we do that without a church? How do we build a relationship, you know, without praying, for example? Or how do we turn every moment into a prayer or a meditation? Oh, okay, cool, cool. So I'm just reading the Promise music. Yeah, yeah. It's cool, man. It's all in divine time. There's no rush with this stuff. Like we're already in abundance. And so yeah, we just need to manifest from abundance, and everything's all gonna be good, man. That's literally the key to it, unfortunately. It's a secret everyone already knows. It's not even a secret at this point. Literally, there's a book called The Secret. They revealed the secret. So do you know what I mean? All right, cool. So yeah, we basically need to understand the word from a words, numbers, and geometry, but all of these relate to vibration. We then understand energy vibration, which is vibration. Yeah, so I've explained this stuff before. I feel like my whole intro was me showing how all of these things are what? Interconnected. All of these things are interconnected, and quite honestly, when I speak about my purpose, it's pretty clear. My purpose is to basically delve deeper into these elements, these aspects. So, you know, you can see that I've clearly missed out on many things on here. This channel's not really going to cover things that are not here. Now, this is quite wide, but just as if you're listening to this channel for the first time, you could basically say that this is kind of like my learning circle or my wheel of interest, my wheel of focus. It's pretty wide, but obviously it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. I respect that, you know. Follow your own path, if whatever you feels right for you. So yeah, this is key. So right, we're going back to the key. So for the past couple of weeks, I've been saying, you know, very strongly, I just want to master the 10. This year is about me mastering the 10. When I'm saying the 10, I'm also talking about that from an energy perspective. That can be explained in an energy perspective. How do I understand action? And action is, let's say, energy. And action equals energy. But then how do I also understand inaction or rest? So action would be like anything that embodies like so I would say like an extreme version of action would be like a baby being born, you know, a mother going through birth. That would be full action. That the aliveness there, that whole sequence of the extreme pain to pleasure. That I don't know, depending on how long that childbirth was, whether it was, you know, hours or a few minutes, that sequence of events is life. It then births life. So you can't really get a better metaphor. You can't really get a closer metaphor than that. But I'm basically saying that the opposite of that is inaction, which, you know, just worldwide now in 2025 is mostly known through meditation and mindful meditation, or the meditation where you concentrate on one thing, one pointedness meditation. So I'm just going to focus on this one thing, my breath. And then you do that for long enough, you master that for long enough, and then you may get to a state where you forget about your breath and you forget about your thoughts. You even forget where you are. The video is paused again. Yes, it's really, really weird. YouTube is not yeah. Stream settings. I wonder if there's a way to. All right, I'm just gonna try to do something for a second, because people are saying the video's pause. It's buffering a lot today. So yeah, and I can see it's on low latency. You can't actually do that. Yeah, I don't think I will be able to stop the buffering. Yeah, and I've got full bars as well. So, but yeah, I can see that it is actually saying that the video is buffering, which is just really, really annoying. But yeah, I don't believe. I think if I close this channel, then it's gonna close the whole video. Like if I start again. So I'm just gonna pause it for. I'm just gonna check one thing, but I don't think this will work. Apologies, people. I'm just seeing if I can sort out this buffering, but I don't think it will be able to. I don't think I'll be able to sort this out, to be honest. Stream. Yeah, yeah. All right. Yeah, the show's just gonna have to continue. Just a bit annoying. Yeah, like I said, I've had a lot of technical difficulty. Well, I've just had a lot of difficulties in general today. Be one of those days. So enable buffer. Yeah, it's just annoying. We'll try and come correct next week. That's all I could do is apologize and try and come correct next week. And apply output. I don't know if that will change it. Yeah. I pressed the button. I don't know what that did. Oh, the audio's good. Okay, the audio's always working. Oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah, if you can't see me, it's fine. It's a screen share thing today anyway. So yeah, I don't mind about that. It's cool. All right, so where was I? Meditation. The extreme. So I'm talking about energy in its extreme. To us, physically, most people can relate to. Well, women will be able to relate to having a baby. Obviously, if you or childbearing people will be able to relate to having a baby. But you can imagine it. You know, you've heard the stories. You've heard the screams, maybe even. So the energy off. The energy off would be what most people experience through meditation, or what people can experience through meditation, where there becomes a cessation, a stopping of thinking, where we're not even aware of time. It would almost be like the extreme version. What they say is like an anesthetic, like going under anesthesia, where you literally lose track of time. And then when you come out of that state back into the normal realm, when you come back into the normal realm, that's where the magic happens, because you've been into this space of magic. Magic then starts manifesting in your life in this, from this space. This is often experienced, is that when you go to that 0 point, you've tapped into where magic happens, where magic can be created beyond space and time. basically. And when you do that, you've now hit an extreme 0 point, or that 0. And so that 1 and that 0 is the binary code. Computers are worked off a binary code, a 1 and a 0. The whole universe, you could say, is created between the balance and the harmony, the correspondence between the 1 and the 0, the on and the off, the action and the inaction. I'm going to skip all of that stuff. I'm going to skip, like I said, we'll just go to what I feel to today. And so I'm basically saying everything is spiritual. Everything is spiritual. As usual, I'm always looking for a prop. Always looking for a prop right now. So, all right, it's a dodgy stream. Obviously, we know it's a dodgy stream, but I'm gonna just try and share my screen for 1 second. So basically everything is connected. We speak about ether. Yeah. So imagine this being a wave. Yeah. So if I get a rope long enough and I shake it there, it's going to take a while for the energy to go from here to the energy going to here, to the other end. Yeah. So that's the way how most people think about energy and a wave. When you tap into ether, when you tap into that 0 point, when you tap into the quantum realm, i.e. the really small, when you tap into this realm, you understand that things are not necessarily waves. They're connected in a different way. And the best way to explain it is a pole. So quantum entanglement is essentially the minute I move this is always going to be affected immediately. So this moves up, this moves down. It's like a seesaw. So one can't be touched without the other being touched. So now when you're understanding that, so basically I'm saying that this energy is a different energy to this energy. Yeah. They're two different energies. One is called a longitudinal wave. One is called a transverse wave. Again, it's up to me to know all of this stuff because, you know, I'm the one that's trying to help people. And there may be a video. I'm feeling to kind of keep this semi-deep today. So like there's other videos, or there's like I did a 10-hour masterclass, you know, when I invited people and I spoke about longitudinal waves, transverse waves, standing waves, you know, all of these things on a pretty deep level. But yeah, I'm not feeling to go that technical today, to be honest. I'm not feeling to go that technical. But just understand that one wave allows you to tap into the ether, allows you to tap into your infinite self. And one wave is more about mundane reality, linear time. And so basically life just becomes a decision and a balance. How much do I want to play the infinite game? How much do I want to invest my time, my life into the infinite game? And how much, I'm just saying for the stream, yeah, something, yeah, I don't even know. Stream suggestion, yeah. One day we'll get technical with this stuff, but yeah, today ain't the day. So yeah, I'm tweeting. And then one game, and then the finite game. The game that's in space and time. And I'm basically just saying that at every moment, you have a choice to do either or. And if you're lucky enough, they can harmonize with each other. You can get your life balanced. Like this is about, it's a moment by moment thing because everything moves. So there's not one vibration that's gonna solve it all. You know, if someone is beating up your partner, the vibration of sitting still and doing nothing and inaction probably is not going to save your partner. And so it's about being resonant with the moment. How do we become righteous with the moment? We would need a clear mind. We would need to understand frequency of that moment and how I want to be in that moment, you know. So yeah, just because the webcam's a bit dodgy today, we're not really focusing on it so much. Maybe even make me smaller. just not needed. So yeah, we'll just keep it up anyway just for it. But yeah, just is what it is. So what we're basically saying is that ether is a disturbance, an interference in the ether. An interference in the ether is where we get light from. So if nothing was disturbed, imagine a still waters, nothing is disturbed, you would say that there is no life. Everything is static. And I'm being extreme with this. I'm just using these are all metaphors. Again, I will only be able to use metaphors to explain this stuff until you can feel it. You either feel it or you don't. Quite honestly, like I can't teach you feeling. I can share with you that feeling is important, but I can't open that gate of feeling with you. So yeah, you have to be able to synchronize the above and below. Absolutely, you have to balance the above and below, which is the physical and the spiritual realm, the heaven and the sky, the heaven and the earth, the outer and the inner. And so we're basically saying disease is pattern corruption. Just like how a Mexican wave, like I'm not going to play this video like, but everyone should know what a Mexican, hopefully a lot of people know what a Mexican wave is. In a Mexican wave, you know when it's your go to go. So each light that stands up, that is a disturbance in the ether. That's a decent way to look at it. I was going to use as an example. But just think that every time that person stands up, that is the light on. They sit back down, that's the light off. That's a decent way to think about energy. So this is at rest. When you're sitting down, you're at rest. You're at peace. And so energy is a disturbance, is an interference in the ether. This is a way to explain it. And all a disease is when a pattern has been corrupted, like there has been a wave, there's been one wave that's interfered with another wave. It's not harmonious. They don't like each other. And that unharmonious, that decoherent, these are all electrical terms. You can Google all of these terms. I'm speaking, like I'm not trying to speak too scientific, but I'm actually using electrical engineering terms. And so we have corruption being decoherence and interference. So think about it, decoherence. We're saying that the universe is what? It's a sound, it's a music. The universe, the universe. So if we're saying that the universe is one, and we're basically saying that you're a divider, you're being divisory, you're basically being decoherent, because it's what D is means you're taken away from. Co is obviously a communion, a union, and then the hair is the herring. So you're basically trying to break up this symphony. You're trying to basically divide us. You're basically, decoherence is essentially divide and conquer, or divide, multiply and conquer. Like multiply that division. Let's amplify that division, and then we conquer. That's what decoherence is, or discord. So again, these are all musical terms. The universe is a song, obviously. You know, most people understand that metaphor. The universe, verse is music. And so we're causing discord. So when we understand it from that perspective, energy healing can become much more simple. It can be simplified. It still can, you know, obviously everything can be technical, but you know, we just need to understand how to sing these notes. What does coherence look like? What does coherence look like? I already dropped. So I remember in my last video when it was like the 4-hour video, I know it took me to get to the 3rd to 4th hour to give the solution. I'm giving it right now, like, you know, different energy, different time, which is you need to become a shareable wave. It's giving you the absolute key now. You can listen to somebody called Dan Winter. But this is like technical stuff. This is like, he will go into the electrical engineering of stuff, let's just say. in terms of vibration. So this is just someone that I've listened to for like 10 years. This guy, you know, these are heavyweights. If you heard of the name Dan Winter, you'll know that, you know, I'm listening to people of genius level quality. And so he, for example, will frame it as you want to become a shareable wave. You could even take that practically and think, out of these 20,000 thoughts that I have for the day, how many of them would I be comfortable sharing with other people? How many of these thoughts would create what? Harmony, coherence, and accord, and that and a voice. If we amplified those thoughts, we amplified those thoughts where every thought was hit, you could hear. I swear there's films like that. Like, you know, What Does a Man Want, I think, or something like that. Mel Gibson, whatever, you know, we amplify those thoughts. All thoughts can be heard. How many of those thoughts would be shareable? How many of those thoughts would be having a positive effect on the universe? How many of those thoughts would be pro-life, pro-growth? You know, these are real practical ways in which you can start to meditate consciously and be in awareness just around your thoughts alone. You could transform your life just from your thoughts alone. This thought that I had, just go for a couple of days, slow down yourself and analyze your thoughts. How many of these thoughts would be in harmony with the laws of nature? And so one of the ways to look at the universe is this is basically what my version of a cancer cell is. So my version of a cancer cell is disruption, is a signal which is not clear. A signal which is not clear. So this is a broken TV screen, by the way, just to be clear. What you're looking at here is a broken TV screen. And so in this broken TV screen, like obviously normally it would have a clear picture. You would be able to see the movement, you know, clarity. It would be a coherent wave. But then you break the screen and it disrupts the pixels. It disrupts the pixels. So yeah, I'm feeling to go a little bit light today. Like I'm not going to go stupidly heavy into the science because I feel like this is my first video live talking about this stuff. So I feel like it'd be unfair to just start at a mile 100. So we'll just, like I may do another video that just goes at mile 100, but this one. But I'm going to mention a few things just for the people that are already of like mind or the people that want to do their own research, so on and so forth. And so we're basically saying that this time and space is pixelated. Just like on a computer game back in the day when you used to play computer games that were very block, you would have like 16 bits. And then now you've got, you know, 1080p, you've got 4K, 8K, you know, just come out or recently come out. And so these are like millions of times more sharper in resolution. So now you're able to see, like, know thyself. If you think about the universe is this idea to know thyself. If you think about the universe is wants to paint a picture, is an artist. The universe is an artist. It wants to create a clear picture to a degree. Again, these are all metaphors, by the way. Please don't take this stuff literal. These are metaphors. But I can't create a clear picture. I can't broadcast a clear picture on a broken TV. So the reason why this is one of the greatest metaphors, shout out to Ken Wheeler, who has the TV, who has the radio metaphor. Again, I'm mentioning heavyweights where you could just research their stuff. You'll see what's actually going on in the back of my head when I'm speaking these, what I'd say, more simpler breakdowns. Ken Wheeler, Dan Winter, you know, those two people, you could be there for years listening to their stuff, or at least months. So the reason why Ken Wheeler would say that this is an almost perfect metaphor, and he doesn't use it, he uses a radio signal metaphor. But I actually, now I'm looking at this, I think I may have done one up on Ken Wheeler. Ha ha ha. Which is that the TV metaphor is maybe even better. One, we use TVs and no one really listens to radio anymore, or very few people. But two, imagine whatever, Sky, I don't know what country you're in, but let's just say the Super Bowl or the World Cup final. Yeah, let's go there. The World Cup final is being broadcast from somewhere. Yeah. So I'm saying that that broadcast is the metaphor, is analogous to your soul, to your soul, to your spirit. I'm saying that this TV is like your body. Yeah, pay attention. Your TV is the body. So when the TV breaks, the problem is that we think that we are the body and we don't really understand our spirit. When the TV breaks, the signal is still there. For me, this is the perfect metaphor, and obviously just taking the inspiration from Ken Wheeler, I have to say that, of a great example of like how there is no death. Yes, the body dies, the TV can smash, we can even get cancer, like this cell, this unclear signal, but the spirit remains, because the spirit was never the house of the body. It was never its true root. It was just a vessel in which it was using to broadcast a message. Yeah. So, and I'm saying that that message is broadcasted through pixels. These pixels represent linear time and space, space-time, 4D reality, 4D, 3D. And I'm saying that in order for you to tap into infinite games, in order for you to tap into quantum healing, energy healing, vibrational healing, when you understand that you need to become a shareable wave, you need to become a wave of harmony, you would know that, the word for it, so there's something called the Planck scale. So basically, I was trying not to go big with words, but like basically there's something called the Planck scale. So all the Planck scale is them measuring the universe in one bit. And they're basically saying that in quantum physics, anything smaller than the Planck scale, space and time is no longer relevant. And I'm saying that that spirit exists beyond space and time, beyond the Planck scale. The signal is not coming from something that is emitting at a Planck scale level. The source is coming from the ethers, from this spiritual realm, from this 0 point. That is the home. And that home is rest. And so when we're playing these infinite games, you don't lose energy. It's hard to lose energy when you're playing infinite games because you're tapping into a different source. You know, I was explaining the metaphor today in terms of like this candle, that the candle goes out, like she basically is cold, and she has like 6 candles, and these candles blow out. Basically, yeah, these candles basically blow out, and she basically, that she would have survived. I'm not going to go through the whole metaphor of the story because it's a bit long, but essentially the story was that if she had just used one candle and spread them evenly in measure, in equal proportion, she would have survived. But she was scared of the dark, and the room wasn't light enough for her, so she wanted it all now. So she lit all 6 candles, and they obviously all emptied at the same time. So it basically, the whole reason for the story is that this woman didn't understand timing. She didn't understand resonance. She didn't really understand the moment, and she allowed her fear to override what the wisdom was truly saying, essentially. And so this obviously is like, so then you've got something called dead pixels and stuck pixels. These are terms. This is just like continuing the metaphor of the TV. And so continuing the metaphor of the TV, like saying that the TV is like a representative of the body. On TVs, if you've kept them for long enough, you might start getting dead pixels where you get these black spots, or stuck pixels when it's just stuck. Like basically you watch the TV program and that TV program, it froze and it froze. And then when it went live again, some of the pixels got stuck. So you've either got lights out, but both of these are representing how disease works. So disease works because what? The energy isn't flowing. This is why you get into things like acupuncture and meridian points, because you've got stuck pixels, i.e. you've got stuck energy. Just think about energy obviously being a pixel, being energy. You've got stuck energy. Or your energy is not stuck. It's so dim that you might as well call it dead. And obviously this is their terms. I've not made these terms up. This is the term. So let's just use the word a dead pixel. There's no light being received in this space. And so you get enough of these, and that's when you get serious diseases, or you get them at certain vital points, you get serious diseases. And so energy work is essentially about moving energy into a certain flow state and amplifying energies that are low vibration. And so they've looked at cancerous cells, for example, and they've seen that most cancerous cells work at low vibration. Low vibration, if your cells are operating at a low vibration, each cell, there's something called biophotons. So biophotons are basically just, you could say that would be one interpretation of our light body, where each biophoton is a voltage, and we are basically volts. And if it goes below a certain amplification of energy, or a certain level of voltage, then that cell becomes so weak that it dies, or it allows for disease to enter into it, which again is the equivalent of a dead pixel, just to be clear. So yeah, dead pixel equals poor depth and equals duppy possession. Oh my days, is that what I said last time? Yo, that's crazy. yeah, I'm not skipping that. I'm not skipping that. So I'm basically saying that a possession happens through your, because I saw this as well and I was like, my mind went somewhere as well. But again, I've not looked at this slide for like a whole year, let's say, something like that. I'm not sure. So when I was looking at this dead pixel, the one thing I did see was the blackness. And I'm like, that's like a portal. What I was thinking was a black hole. And I was going to mention a film as well. There's a film that I want to watch that just came out. But it's this woman that gets a black hole. It's like a sci-fi comedy film. She gets a black hole growing in her body. It's like a disease. I have to watch that film now. Now that I've mentioned this and I've actually related it as well. And we're basically saying that when your energy is low, you allow for other energies to come into your space, because your body is not having integrity. It's not held its integrity. It's not held its stability. It's not held its strength. And so through that process of death, because nothing truly dies, energy just transfers, you're basically allowing for possession. That's what you're allowing for, because you're basically creating a black hole, just to be clear. And obviously a dead pixel is division, which is obviously stuck in a matrix. And yeah, just I was speaking about the pixel, one pixel equals, and then yeah, if you wanted to Google this, you would just Google something called Planck. Like you can just Google this stuff in your own time. I don't want to get too crazy with this video. Yeah, we're gonna skip that stuff. Yeah, that's getting a bit too deep. And so basically you have a decision to make. When it comes to this energy healing stuff, you have a decision to make. Conscious, unconscious, unintentional, intentional, structured, unstructured. These are choices that we have at all from moment to moment in terms of vibration and energy. Do we want to direct this vibration? Do we want to be intentional? Do we want to allow for chaos to exist in this space? Or is this a time for structure? And so the only constant is creation. And I'm saying all of these energies are effects of creation, are the after effects of creation. Going on crazy. All right, so we're about to turn this up a notch. We're about to turn this up a notch. We're about to turn this up a notch. All right, so there's a lot of people, for me, even today, like there seems to be like certain entry points into spirituality, I would say. Like obviously everyone has a different path, but there seems to be certain, let's say, themes that you get into. So people getting into the tree of life or the Kabbalah, for example, in metaphysics, or occult sciences, or Freemasonry. So that would be like on the wisdom path, for example, the 7 Hermetic laws, 7 laws of nature. That would be kind of like the wisdom path. When it comes into the energy healing path and understanding that everything is energy, you know, most people, I would say, at some point, if you dig deep enough, and I would say you don't have to dig that deep to get it, is what I'm trying to say, is you would get into Nikola Tesla. You may hear of Nikola Tesla. You may not know everything, but you may have watched a video on Nikola Tesla, for example. One of the other big areas I would say is this guy. So I'm just going to show you his images because I thought I would have had it up here, but we just went straight into the heaviness. So it's fine. So we would have went into someone like Dr. Emoto. So is anyone on this chat not heard of Dr. Emoto? Because I don't know what people know. You see what I mean? So has anyone on this chat not heard of Dr. Emoto? I'd be interested to know. So Dr. Emoto basically is someone that worked with it's crazy in terms of how slow everything is going on today. Yeah, this is just, it's one of those days. Just an incredible day. So like I've never seen a web page take so long to load. So yeah, I can now see why it's taken so long to stream for. Because yeah, it shouldn't take that long to load a page. All right, cool. So yeah, whilst that's loading, we'll just go to the next level of Dr. Emoto stuff, which is basically water imprinting. So we're saying that the universe is mental, everything is conscious, or consciousness can happen, or consciousness can arise. I don't want to get into the debates of consciousness, but let's just say that there is an awareness that's happening within water. And people like Dr. Emoto was one of the pioneers. Like literally this page still hasn't loaded. I've never seen this before in my life. That is crazy. So basically we work with water. So what we're looking for, so yeah, I'll just give a quick introduction into this. So what we're looking for, is we're looking to understand that everything's finally loaded. Like that's crazy. So this is a Dr. Emoto image where he basically speaks love into the water. He speaks vibrations into the water. He plays music into the water. You know, he ran multiple different experiments. Like you can go buy his book, for example. But yeah, this is like 20, 30 years ago research, let's just say. And like, again, so this guy, so there's someone in the chat and is like, you know, I don't understand. I would love to learn this stuff on a real technical level. I want to know this stuff, like technically. I'm like, okay, cool, follow my channel, whatever. But intuition is always with you. And so you don't need to study anything to see, to look at an image and recognize beauty. That's why beauty is one of the most powerful, crazy in terms of the synchronicity today. Because I was speaking about this today. I was speaking about the power of beauty. And in ancient times, beauty was actually on a pedestal, but obviously not sexualized, but like just beauty in itself, because beauty represents harmony. Beauty represents balance. Beauty represents, in some cases, symmetry, not all cases. And so you don't need to be anything else other than understanding of art and beauty to know that this thank you, this wisdom, this truth, this eternal, this angel, this I love you, this peace looks way more healthier than you fool, you make me sick, evil. What did I... Bro. We'll get to that one in a second. Polluted water before prayer and polluted water after prayer. So this is the most powerful one, obviously, in terms of what we're looking at, because this shows you the interconnectedness of everything. I've prayed to water and look what's happened. So Dr. Emoto was one of the people that brought in the physical, idea. So we've taken something from a theory of, oh, prayer's cool, to like, no, let's look at what the science is behind it. Let's see what's actually happening. Is there a way for us to measure the power of prayer? And so Dr. Emoto, I would say, is one of the first people that made this kind of stuff mainstream to a degree. Obviously, you need to be something so quote unquote spirituality, but essentially made it decently mainstream. And what's crazy about them, what did I say about the dead pixels? I said that the dead pixels will come through a black hole. And look at the evil. Look at the word for evil. Now, I'm not saying all black holes are evil. By the way, that would be stupid. But like, the word for evil is basically a black hole. And I was just speaking about, I hadn't even noticed that before. Like, as in, I'm making a new synchronicity now. Now, just to be clear, just so we're understanding the key to stuff, yeah? I've said that evil can come through a black hole, but I wasn't generic. I was just like, yeah, that's if you're operating from the space of death. But I also said that there is an infinite game where you can tap into the quantum realm from a space of love and grace and harmony and all of these things, and a shareable wave. And look at that. You have an angel. So I've not noticed this synchronicity before. Like, I've not looked at this picture for, well, actually, for a few months, in fairness. I did show it to someone the other day. It's like one of my quickest entry points to try and explain vibration to people. For me, it's like the quickest thing, because you can go online, you can see so much evidence on this stuff. But the angel also creates a black hole. There's black holes in all of these, by the way, just to be clear. So I don't want to be biased. But I'm saying in terms of where you actually see the darkness, you see it in the angel and you see it in the evil. You basically see the fight between good and evil. Here. That's crazy. I've never noticed that before. I've never heard anyone mention that before. Yeah, so some people communicate with water. We should all be communicating with water. Like, what? We should all be practicing this stuff. This should be part of our routine. And I'm not saying like it has to be like a religion. I'm not trying to start no religion. But like, how are you not working with the 5 elements? Quite honestly. Like, the foundation of all spiritual practices, unless you're like a religious type, that's different. But like, you know, they also work with the 5 elements. They just don't tell you that. You do the visual. If you're in Islam, you're Muslim, you do the wuzu. You clean yourself. You clean yourself with water. You clean yourself with water. Spirit means breaths. Breath is fire. Dragon. So like, we're working with the elements whether we say it or not. Obviously, if you're a Christian, you do communion. You drink the wine, water. So we're all working with water. You know, doesn't really matter what you say. But yeah, I've never noticed this connection before. This is actually mind blowing in terms of how this is speaking to me, and it's like these things can speak to you as well. So Dr. Emoto was a real scientist. So my whole point is that Dr. Emoto was a real scientist. And those tests are harder to recreate, basically. Those tests are hard to, Dr. Emoto's tests are really hard to recreate. So when I'm saying anyone can work with water, I'm basically saying that there is a technique that I've been using that works for me, that basically replicates Dr. Emoto's science, but anyone can do it on a more DIY level. And essentially it's called water imprinting. I'm calling it water imprinting. I don't know what the name is. But there is a lady called Ada, I can't remember what her name is, Ada something. And you can basically imprint thoughts into water and freeze the water. So you buy, basically what you do is you buy, I'm literally just giving you a technique now. You buy a Petri dish, yeah? And then you put water in that Petri dish and you start running your own experiments. Honestly, people, the limit is your imagination. There's not enough people doing this work. There's maybe only like 10,000 people doing this kind of work. Like, I'm saying that literally you can have a conversation with the divine at any time you want and freeze that vibration in that room, and it will give you the energy. Just how people read tea leaves, just how people read coffee leaves, just how people read stones and bones. I'm saying that you can do water divination and anyone can do it. Petri dishes are like, they cost £1. There's no excuse financially, hopefully wise. You know, we're all paying for internet, so I hope we can afford a Petri dish. We have some water. Try and use distilled water or mineral water, RO water, like basic, yeah, different types of water. Try not to use tap water because tap water's already got its own energy, which is hard to change, but you can still change it. But it's already kind of got its own ideas. Let's just say it's already got its own energy because it's recycled water. So yeah, the type of water you use, it does have an effect to a degree, but you can use any water, quite honestly. Like, something is better than nothing. And so look at this. All she's done basically here, just to explain what you're looking at. All she's done is taken water, put it over a picture. This is a picture of a friend. This is the woman that's invented this whole science, basically. She put this picture over this. So she got the water, put it over there for 30 seconds, froze it, and then this was the image it showed. So we're saying like the water actually takes, it imprints. You can print something on water. You can basically do water printing. Look at the texture of the hair. The crazy thing about this image, yeah, the reason why this image for me is one of the most mind-blowing things I've ever seen, especially when you start seeing a lot of this woman's links. I'll try and, if anyone wants to put this woman in the chat, because for me, this is like, if you've never seen this before, you shouldn't be able to sleep tonight. I don't know. Unless you're already tapped into this world and you're just doing this stuff for fun, you've got your own modalities. But if you're new to this stuff, if you're like looking for proof, I'm giving you a science that you can work with now. No excuses, no ifs or buts. That costs 20p, £1 to set up to go buy a Petri dish from Amazon or wherever you want to buy it. Buy 5 of them and start running different tests. Like, so where I'm going with it is I basically create water. I create water. Like, just, I create my own water. Like I've mentioned it a couple of times. I create my own water. So I'll do a sample. I'll do 3 samples. One before I've even touched the water. One once I've touched the water. And then once I've prayed over the water. Or I've done another test. Like, I've got so many tests that I run. And the water will speak to me the same way how dreams speak to you. The water will speak to you where it's not even so direct like this. I'll just speak into it and it will show me a sign. I'm going to show you lots of stuff today. But what I'm trying to say here is what's crazy is the water even tries to imprint the texture. Look at this. Look, this is water. And it's got the texture of hair. Crazy. It's actually got the texture of hair in the water. Unbelievable. Oh, I had this picture up already, the Dr. Emoto. I didn't even know. Like I said, I've not looked at this stuff for a year. Now, this is it on a macro level. There is someone that does vibrations. Yeah, they work with vibrations. there's a spiritual person. Like, I need to get this person's name. I was on their website. I did actually have the links to their website, but again, I've not researched this stuff for about a year, this particular page. But he does something with vibrations. I don't know what he does with vibrations, but he does something with vibrations. And it was able to create these shapes from the vibration. It's mind blowing. I need to find this guy's link. His website, he just had these pictures. He didn't have much, but it was just such an interesting idea. Basically, this is almost like the version of a crop circle, if you know what crop circles are. If you understand crop circles, it's like crop circles. Yeah, so again, like, I don't feel to be here for like 4 hours, but I did a 4-hour masterclass on this stuff where I would play these videos, you know. But yeah, I don't feel to be here for 4 hours today. So I'm trying to keep this to like about 2 hours or something like that. So I'm not going to play these videos. But again, you can just Google this stuff. You can just Google these videos yourself. Like, you know, you can do some work if you want to. But I will explain this one. But I'm just going to talk about this video quickly, and also my internet as well is not the greatest at the moment. Let me just click on the something and see if it works. Because obviously my stream is real poor at the moment. So when we're speaking about resonant energy, let's pause this. Oh yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm not even gonna try and play it. Like, I tried to play it, but yeah, like I said, my video stream today is just, yeah, we don't know what's happening with it. Yeah, we have no idea what's happening today, energy wise. But basically, we're just saying that the tuning forks, all right, because I've messed up this picture. We're basically just saying that things only vibrate when you tap into its energy source, when you tap into its frequency. So it just, all tuning forks do is give you a perfect demonstration, a very, very clear demonstration of resonance and harmony. And the fact that it's not about amplification, but actual frequency. And so if we can tune into certain frequencies, we can understand what we're doing. So I'm about to show you, look, 440. Look, all right, we'll do it here. So, all right. So I'm going to get something up whilst I talk, because yeah, like I said, I had to shut down my computer and all this kind of stuff. Like, it is what it is. So I'm going to try and show you an image that I did have up before, but it's now gone. Let's see if I got it to my history. See if I've got it on my history. Live on my history. All right, let's just shut down some stuff as well. Just yeah, this internet is working so slow. All right, we'll just get out what we can, but that's just, it's crazy. It's kind of crazy today. No idea what's going on. All right. All right, yep, there you are. All right, at least we got the video up. So let me get this video up. All right, so I'm about to show you. So what we're about to do, for example, is show you the levels that we're working with, basically. So geometry. I went real dead there because my mind went in about 20 different places. Apologies. Geometry. We're starting with geometry. So we have 3 main ways in which I see healing. Yeah. Light and sound. Vibration. All vibrations, or most vibrations, produce a light and produce a sound. Yeah. So if we understand, so from a vibrational healing perspective, we would need to be very, very understanding of what sound does to us and what light does to us. So these are things that I could talk about for weeks. but just as a base of what we mean by vibrational healing on a more practical sense, we're talking about sound therapy and light therapy, because those are the primordial ways in which energy manifests itself. Also with that, I'll add like a holy trinity to it, and I'll say geometry. So we've got sound, we've got light, and we've got geometry or shape or sacred geometry or symbols, however you want to say it, forms. These are the three ways in which we focus on healing each other, focus on healing through vibrations. And so, like I said, I have a whole bunch of these devices. I'll even just show you a couple of them that I've got around me again. Just, I'll just show you a few things that I've got, for example, just so you can see exactly what I mean by this stuff. Would have almost been quicker to shut out my phone, Like, seriously, I don't know what's going on with the internet. So, this 440 wave, I'm actually trying to wait for a picture to load. Like, literally, I'm trying to load one page on YouTube. It hasn't even loaded yet after about 5 minutes. I have no idea what's going on. So, yeah, I'll get back to that, because I want to show you, basically, what I'm going to show you is a picture of the 440 wave geometry. So, we basically, all the music that we listen to, or 95% of the music that we listen to, is attuned to a 440 frequency. If you go on YouTube, you can watch 100 videos. There's thousands of videos on this stuff. So again, I'm not the only one that talks about this stuff. Of course not. Like, we all listen to people. We all understand this stuff, or some of us do. But what blew my mind is, for the first time, someone showed me why 440 is bad, because they were just saying it like, and I can understand it as well. I've got two ways to show you. I've got two ways to prove it to you. But just where we are today, I want to just stick with the visuals as opposed to the science behind it, because the science gets a bit more technical. But the 440 wave, or the 440 frequencies, which is where these tuning forks are. So it's basically saying that, look, a perfect tuning fork on middle C is at 440 hertz. Yeah. So your C is 440 hertz. That's what all pianos, whatever musical instruments, are tuned to. Whereas 100 years ago or so, it was 432 hertz. So anyone that's into like vibrational healing, binaural beats, listening to music, they'll often see 432 hertz. Yeah. Which is only 8 hertz off of the 440. And, whether they sound nice or whether they sound pleasant or not is maybe up for debate. But what's not up for debate is art, or intuition around art. Yeah. So the intuition around art. All right, let's see. How do we make this big? All right. So this is a channel you might want to follow. Like, this is a channel that you don't have much subscribers, 12 videos only. I've known about for about a year, maybe. But like, this is the technology that I'm working with, or this is the kind of levels that I'm going to. So what this person is able to do, again, this is like kind of open source. I said today is about like, I want to share this information. It's not about, I'm not a keeper of these secrets. Like, we're on the precipice. I haven't even mentioned that we're on the precipice. We're on the cusp of the world going to a completely new level, like unrecognizable. And it's just whether enough of, let's say, the quote unquote good technology comes out a lot, because right now we're on the cusp of something great, potentially. And I'm hopeful that the energies that I'm about to get into, the energies that I even have, is no longer going to be suppressed. Like, they're not really stopping us, because most of the universe, or most of the world, are so on a linear time, let's just say, on an allopathic timeline, that the small people that, are into energy healing and vibrational healing, they're not really causing a disturbance enough for the majority for it to be that much of a concern. And also, we just have the internet now. So in this age of the internet, it's just too hard to suppress this stuff based on where we are, and especially if they want to bring in things like AI. So again, I can't play this video, but you can go check out this video. This video is one of the most mind-blowing videos I've ever seen in my life. But all of her videos are mind-blowing. Like, you could just, and her videos are short. They're not like mine. They're real short, like 5 minutes long, that kind of stuff. Basically, 440 produces this wave. I can't really scroll over it, otherwise it will hover it over. But 440 is the wave on the right. And if I click on this video, it's going to take forever. 440 is the video on the right. It is basically what we're calling decoherent. There's no structure to it. There's no structure to it. So annoying. Like, literally, it's the most. Yeah. So there's no coherence to it. Yeah. Yeah, there's no coherence to it. So 432 produces what is like a flower of life, a seed of life. So don't have it with me. But 432 produces a coherent beauty. Like, this is a sacred geometry shape thing, for example. All right. So this is a 2D torus. Yeah. So I got my water. All right. So look, I'll just show you like a little bit of technology. So when I'm talking about technology is what I'm talking about. So we got the water, which is in a phi ratio. Anyone understands the golden ratio? This bottle is a phi ratio bottle. 1 + 1 = 2. 2 + 1 = 3. 3 + 2 = 5. So this bottle is a phi ratio bottle. The phi ratio is how you basically replicate yourself for growth in perfect harmony. Yeah. We've got the orgon. Sorry, shungite. We've got shungite, which is a purifier, which is a dielectric purifier. Let's just say it taps into the ether, like a black hole. Let's just say shungite. And then we've got silver. These sparkles are silver. And silver is the most conductive energy on the planet or in the universe that we know of as a single element. And then you put that underneath that as a coaster. And I've already showed you about the imprinting. And so then this creates a certain level of energy in the water. Yeah. And then you'll be like, but so then your question is like, oh, well, what does that do? How does that help? Like, it's not really, I bet you it's just a placebo. Yeah. All right. Sure, mate. Like, I got stories, but today I'm not really trying to go to the stories, but I'm going to just show you some proofs. So basically what we're saying with this image, I'm going to get up in a second. Again, my internet is so slow today, but that image is, we're saying that basically each frequency creates a shape. 432 creates this shape. 440 creates that shape. Are you really going to want to eat this particular shape of energy? So every time we're listening to music, we're basically, no matter how nice that music is, it's creating a certain level of chaos. When we listen to music tuned to 432, whether we like that music or not, there's a certain level of harmony with it. And so there's other shapes. And this is like a whole science that I'm getting into. Like, basically, I can create what this, like, my cousin is a sound engineer. Shout out to Lamar. My cousin is a sound engineer. So we've already spent 3 hours, and I put it on his computer. I just didn't put it on mine for some reason. I don't know why. We just worked off of his computer. But we basically put the technology on his computer to create these shapes to any frequency. So I'm now saying that any frequency we have, we can produce a shape for to see whether that shape is coherent or not. Again, check out this woman's channel. She'll explain it all. But I'm basically saying I'm working with this technology right now. I just need to put it on my computer. This is like stuff that we're going to do within the next week or so. And so I'm going to show you an image of my version of this test. So obviously right now, you know, this is not about just conversations. All right, sorry. So I'm just going into my WhatsApp to just get a picture that I just sent someone. Oh my days. I just realized why my computer's working so slow. I just realized. Yeah, it's my fault. I just realized what I did. Yeah, this is crazy. Yeah, apologies, people. I just realized what I've done. Yeah. That should be sorted now. All right, cool. Yeah, so we might be we might be able to get a better stream now. Yeah, anyway, I didn't want to explain the technology stuff that's happened to me today, but yeah, all right, cool. I've just changed the settings. I've just changed some more settings, so the video should now go more into flow. I apologize for the bufferness and the technical imperfections of this video. All right, let's now move. Oh my days, now you're moving normally. All right, cool. Please and please them. All right. Where's this image? All right, cool. Here they are. There they were. Where you went? All right, cool. So this is tap water. Yeah. So like this is my experiments. This is what I enjoy the most about certain sciences is how quick sciences work. So what was mind blowing is that I watched this woman's video, never heard of the woman before. This is what I'm trying to say in terms of like alchemy and magic and spirituality, because I've watched a million videos. I watched her video and was like, there's no way I'm not implementing what she just did. If what she did is true, because again, I don't know if it's true. Maybe she done something and she's a fraud, she's a charlatan. I don't know. All I know is she piqued my interest. I was like, I gotta try this. That day, I buy a Petri dish online, whatever comes the next day. That day, I buy the next day, that same thing, boom. All right, let's just make up an experiment. Yeah. So I got tap water, took a picture of the tap water, cloudy. I then got the water. This is the water that I buy. So I basically spent like, I don't even want to tell you how long I spent researching water. A stupid amount of time researching water and decided on, basically settled on two waters, basically. I settled on two waters. All you need to understand is that circles and bubbles are fantastic. It's like, just think the more bubbles, the more hydrogen, the more hydrogen potential. Let's just keep it simple. Again, I'm just keeping it a bit simple because it means a few different things. There's something called cavitation as well, which is like cleaning, health. The more bubbles, the more healthy. So again, I shouldn't really need to explain this stuff because it should be more even symbolic. What water looks more healthier to drink? You know, I'll let your mind decide. We then put it underneath the torus. Look, that one shape here is the exact same thing that I've got here. Yeah, the exact same. Yeah, it's the exact same shape. Half. Yeah, exact same one. So, boom. If anyone knows this image, it's created a torus field. This was the most mind-blowing thing I'd ever seen in my life. You should have seen how I was shouting in the house when I saw this. I was screaming the place down. I could not believe what was going on in my eyes. This is a 2D torus. This is basically what they say the universe, the shape of the universe, or the shape of all spheres are toroidal. I'm not going to go into that heavy science, but you can just look it up. A donut. They're saying that the shape of the universe is a donut. A torus. And I put this over the water and it creates a torus field. An hourglass. Yeah. It creates an hourglass. And then I remember the second day as well. I remember the second day I didn't even clock. I was like, oh my days. You're trying to tell me that right here, you've got clear energy. You've got the zero energy. And then you can see that this energy, there's energy coming out of here. Like a tornado, like it's going in. Like this is the female energy. This would be the female. And this would be the male. I.e. the energy that comes out, the electric energy. This would be the magnetism. And you're trying to tell me you're seeing that in a shape. So for me, this is one of the most incredible images. But yeah, even though you're saying it's not that, bro, it's not that. So yeah, I had the chat out. Like, yeah, like I said, obviously my internet was just like so slow until I just changed the settings. So yeah, obviously now the internet is well. I can even see that I'm not buffering as well. So yeah, it's completely my fault. But look, someone in the chat, King Supreme, not just to blow you up, but I'm saying, like, again, there are no positive numbers and no negative numbers to a degree. We need to shift our mindset of that, especially when it comes to numerology. We have to understand that numerology focuses more on archetypes as opposed to frequencies of energy. Now, everything is that, but we're not saying that the 440 is bad because 4 and 4 equals an 8. And so now all energies, so basically it now means that all frequencies that work with the 8 are bad. Do you see what I mean? That would be an extreme that you've taken too far. And I'm not saying that you're doing that, but obviously you've put the numerology with the 440 and then the 432 is the 9. No, there will be other numbers that will have, there'll be like 572 and that might equal a 9. And that just is not harmonic. So I'm saying that what I'm basically trying to say is we need to go deeper with this stuff. By us trying to like discriminate on certain numbers, and like you know, I'm with someone today who basically has a Christian inclination. They mentioned something about the 6. Well, I mentioned something about the 6. It was like, oh, that's the evil number. Because obviously, you know, 666, you know, they come from, so to their mind, 666 or 616, that's an evil number. I'm like, nah, bro. Who told you that? Where did you get that information from? Do you see what I mean? Like, how do we, like, where are we getting this information in our head to think that certain things are evil and certain things are not? I'm an alchemist. So I kind of, I'm trying to work with energies to see and show and see proof. The reason why the water divination blows my mind is because anyone can do it and it works. I don't have to sit there studying for 20 years, meditating to try and speak to some Arcturian angel in the middle of something to get an experience or for me to get information. Do you see what I mean? I'm saying that we could work with water divination now. And I'm not saying this is the only way. Like, there's so many different types of magic. I'm just showing you energy that I work with, magic that I work with, ways for me to do divination. And then we got the flower of life, same thing again. This is a different water. These were 3 different samples. One of the things I've showed this image once before, I think on the private, on again, this masterclass. These are 3 different petri dishes. I just got the sample of water, the same sample of water that produced here. I think the same water that produced this, basically. I basically did my spiritual healing. Basically, let's just say I've got 15 weight. I basically make spiritual water. I make spiritual water. I have devices, whole bunch of things, a whole bunch of things. I've got 15 different processes to make water right now. And from next week or next couple of weeks, I'm going to have about 25 different processes. We're gone, people. We're gone. And so I make this spiritual water and then I put it over these 3 different signs, these 3 different sacred symbols. This is a Taurus field. This is the flower of life. And this is called something called the MWO. I don't know how to pronounce in Russian, but like Lakovsky. The Lakovsky wave. The MWO. You can Google all of this stuff. Yeah, like you do your own research. But this is also like a Taurus. Essentially. This is kind of like a Taurus. Like you can go research about this stuff. This stuff is 100 years old. This guy was out. This guy knew Tesla. Basically. This guy knew Tesla. There's quotes with them two together and stuff like that. This guy knew Tesla. So again, they were both working on this kind of energy, vibrational healing stuff. But, you know, just kind of got suppressed. But it's there. I bought this off Etsy. You want the link? DM me. I'll send you the link. I'm not trying to hold nothing. This costs £15, just to be clear. Or is it 10? 10 to £15, maybe packaging. It comes from another country. They don't produce this stuff in the UK. All of this stuff is like Russian. Like, I'll just let you in on the secret. All of the best technology when it comes to spiritual energy, vibration healing, most of the best stuff is Russian, Eastern European. Especially when it comes to sacred geometry and these kind of devices. Like, they're all over this stuff. And so you see the Taurus field repeated 3 times. Probably the strongest in this flower of life. And look, you can see the 0 point of the energy. I don't know how clear this is coming across your screen. You'd probably have to go to 720. But you can see that the 0 point, the pinch point of the energy is here. Look, you can even see the circle. Like, I'm even looking at stuff for the first time, even this close. You can see it's coming in here. That's the Z point. That's the Taurus. And it's spitting out energy that way, and it's coming in this way. Crazy images. Crazy images. So, you know, when I'm saying like I'm looking to build a community, this is the kind of community I'm looking to build. I'm looking to build a community of workers. People that are like are literally into getting into work. You know, working with these energies, working with these technologies. That's why I'm sharing them at the end of the day. You see what I mean? It's not like I'm the holders. Like, there is a certain level of maybe knowledge, time, and finances. Like, I put a lot of money into some stuff. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it is what it is, but there's no but to it. So that obviously these are certain barriers to entry. But obviously I'm trying to give you guys stuff as well that is no barriers to entry. This is a Taurus field. This is just a visual representation of a Taurus field going into the body. And this is the fire. This is the fire ratio, which is the 9. And this is the fire ratio. So you've got these fire ratios, these sacred symbols. Plus you got your light body. It's art. So it speaks about a lot of stuff. Remember I was talking about the Taurus field? We've got the blue, the red pill, blue pill, the male, the male, blue shift, red shift. Again, these are all technical words. You could just Google them in your own time. I don't feel to go ridiculously technical today. And then you've got the symbol of the infinite, the infinity symbol. So this is just a beautiful piece of artwork that I just saw when I was Googling Taurus fields. It's just beautiful, basically. Speaks to so much. You also got the DNA as well. And then basically this person, I watched this person, they were inspired by Dan Winter. So they were inspired by Dan Winter in the fire ratio. And so when we're saying about being a shareable wave, we're basically saying that it's resonant, it's harmonic. All right, I'm going to show it quickly. It shows something a bit stupid for a second. What's the time now? 10:45. All right, so this is Dan Winter's website. So I apologize in advance because this website is ridiculously technical. I would say ridiculously technical, but you know, if you're looking at it for the first time, it's just going to be confusing. And you know, I said I wasn't going to try and get too technical, but like here it is. Here is getting a little bit more technical. So we're basically saying that when we're saying that you're coherent, we're saying that the amplitude is doubled, it's tripled, it's multiplied, it's divided, or it goes up in a 5 ratio. as in 1 and 1 equals 2. So what we're basically saying, so when I was saying like no numbers are evil, I'm basically saying that you could take the number 8 and turn that into a Fibonacci sequence, into a Fibonacci ratio. You get the 8 and you add 8. You get 8 and you now get 8 and 8, which is 16. You get the 8 and the 16, you add them together and you get whatever number that is, 24. You get 24 and 16, you add that together. You've now created a coherent wave. I don't think I've ever said this before and explained this clearly, but you've now turned any number into a coherent amplification based on its own energy, a self-replicating amplifier, which is basically what you're seeing here in this shape. Which is basically what you're seeing in this shape. You're basically seeing a perfect fractal. You're seeing a perfect hologram. You're seeing a perfect fractal. You're seeing energy that embeds itself. I don't know how quick I'm going to people. If anyone wants me to slow down and actually explain some of this stuff a bit more slower. But basically what you're seeing is you're seeing harmony. You're seeing a vortex of harmony that has created itself from itself. Whether you're starting here, you're going back into yourself. Obviously, if you were starting here, this would be you imploding. So if you listen to any of Dan Winter's stuff, he will just use a term called implosion. That would be one of his words. Implosion or neg entropy. Yeah, these are a bit technical, but basically it is harmony where you're creating yourself from yourself and you're fractioning off yourself in a resonant manner based on the phi ratio. Yeah, that's essentially what it is. And so the devices that I'm getting will allow me to measure how coherent your body is vibrating at. That's what this machine is. So Dan Winter produces machine. He doesn't just talk, he produces machines. He's got this machine, which I'm about to get, which will allow me to basically understand how coherent your brain waves are in comparison to your heart. How synchronized is your heart with your brain? How aligned are you? How aligned is your heart with your thoughts? How aligned are you with your intentions to your actions? These things can be measured, people, is what I'm basically saying. Like, I don't know if anyone knows that, but I've been speaking about this institute called the Heart Math Institute. I've mentioned it a couple of times. I think I mentioned it on my last video. I can't remember when I mentioned stuff, to be honest. Like, I'm way too many videos for that. But on a video, I mentioned the Heart Math Institute, which pioneer breathing techniques that allow perfect resonance. And I'm saying that the advanced version of that is to align yourself with the golden ratio, which is one of the greatest ways in which the universe creates itself from itself. Basically, it can also double itself, just to be clear. That is a perfect harmony as well. So there's different types of harmony, but in terms of perfect amplification or perfect implosion, it would be the phi ratio very specifically. And so you can see that so basically what you're seeing here is that this person is resonating their brainwave. This is their brain scan. This is the brain waves in real time that's just been frozen. And this went from a 2 and a 5 to the 8. 5 and 8 is almost 15. 15 and 14 and 8 is almost 21. So this person is vibrating close to a golden ratio. So I'm going to say something controversial, but it is what it is. And the controversial thing, my understanding of how it works is that to a degree, in order to master life, you have to understand death. In order to understand death, you have to understand life. There is these things are correlated. These things coexist. And obviously there's no such thing as death, but it is what it is. We'll just use that word for this exercise, for this metaphor. And I'm basically saying that salvation, your heaven, where you go when you die, in my opinion, I could be wrong, but I'm preaching this stuff almost because I understand the science of it, will be your ability to tap into this frequency, this golden ratio, your ability to implode itself coherently. That's how I'm saying that. I'm saying that this knowledge, this science, for me, obviously with certain other things as well, this ain't the cure all, but I'm saying that your skill in this is the difference to a degree between going into a hell realm and a heaven realm. Because I've said everything is energy. And I'm saying that when we're showing that 440, say like you only mastered the 440, where do you think you're going to go when you die? If everything is energy. If you only mastered the 440. Imagine like each wave was a school. See this scale. Think about it, this scale. These waves, these dimensions are schools. So if you've only mastered the school of 440, I could actually play these videos now, you know, because my stream's working more. So yeah, let's see if I can actually play this video, because this video is just unbelievable. It's just to show what I'm saying. So look, this is the 440. This is the 440. This is the 440 playing. That's the 440. Where is the harmony there? Yeah. Here, look at the 432. The 432 is playing. And look at the 432. Yeah. So again, I don't want to go crazy into the science because, like, you know, I'm just working with this technology. It's like new stuff. But like, yeah, we understand the science of it. So these are the different frequencies that have been put in. Why is it not pausing for? Yeah, there you go. So this is the different frequencies. So to generate this, we're working with more than one frequency, just to be clear. We're working with more than one frequency. Your life, you will never be able to reduce yourself to a single frequency. You are a bandwidth. You're a whole bunch of frequencies. So when we're saying coherence, when we're saying creating your own heaven, we're saying that all frequencies are in harmony with each other. Yeah, they're in harmony with each other. So this person has put in multiple frequencies to generate this, but they're all operating from the 432. Those same frequencies, or those same, let's say, harmonics, because you can have bad harmony and good harmony. So this is the harmony of the 432 playing different notes. These are different notes, basically. They're different notes on the piano. Just think about different notes on the piano. Yeah. These different notes of the piano, when you press them all at the same time, based on the 432, this is what they generate. When you do those same notes, but move it to a 440, this is what they generate. It's the same notes. Look what the woman says. Same exact notes, obviously with different frequencies, but one is tuned to 432 and one is tuned the exact same 7 chords. Remember the 7 chords. That's why just again, I'll just decipher, because she don't explain this stuff. Like, her videos are short, so she don't really explain stuff crazily. So I could probably do a better job. But you can see the 7 chords: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You've got the 7 chords here in perfect harmony, creating like bubbles. Also, these are bubbles. Look, they're creating an expanded energy field beyond the 7 notes. Those same 7 notes, you can't even see the 7 notes. They're so incoherent. I hope you guys, like, if you understand this stuff, you could heal yourself just from a symbol. You could heal yourself just from a symbol. Shout out to Jewel Pulcrum. If you know, you know. Yeah, no, I will mention that. Jewel Pulcrum was the person who 20 years ago was speaking about healing yourself by looking at a circle. I kid you not, I have those images. I've still got those images, physical copies of those images, because we bought a program. And she healed herself. What dishes did you say? Lakovsky coil. Oh, yo, who knows about the Lakovsky coil? Yeah. Lakovsky coil, yeah. Wonderful. Thank you very much. Yeah. A Lakovsky coil. That's another name for it. So Lakovsky is the guy that done it, that produced it. So Lakovsky or MWO as well. They'll produce the same results. So yeah, I have them. Yeah, obviously I have this stuff. So where are we? Where are we in the video? Where are we in the video? So we're basically talking about harmony, and we're basically saying that, all right, just to be clear, peak experiences of psychedelics and also lucid dreaming are proven to be coherent waves. You can only lucid dream when you tap into a coherent wave. And a lucid dream is when you know that you're dreaming. So all of my students, I teach them how to lucid dream. Because by me teaching them how to lucid dream, I'm teaching them how to get into a coherent state, into an implosive state. Because think about, you're dreaming when you're dreaming. And sometimes if you watch that film Inception, you have a dream that you're dreaming that you're dreaming. You go into 3 levels of the dream, which would just be a further deepness of this, would just be a deeper level. So maybe that first level dream, you're just doing that. That second level dream, you're just doing that here. Hopefully you can see my mouse. And that third level dream, you've went to here. Do you see what I mean? But each dream has been coherent because you've been resonant. You've been conscious in all of your dreams. If you have those third layer dreams, when you dream that you're dreaming, for example, I think that's the furthest level that I've got to, for example. And they're also saying that when you get into a bliss state, I don't know what's controversial in this world, but like, you know what I mean? It is what it is. It is what it is. So, you know, I all recommend you guys check out Dan Winter. Like, he'll be able to explain this stuff way more technically than I feel to. I just don't, like, yeah, I produce slides, but then I just go with the energy. Like, I'm just not in the energy to explain this stuff ridiculously technical. Again, another key is grounding. Because when you ground, you tap into the Schumann resonance. And the Schumann resonance is a coherent frequency. It's a very, very coherent frequency. Obviously, it's what we're produced from, the Earth. So, what? No, yeah, this one doesn't have much here. All right, another science. So these are all the sciences that I've got. All of these things I've been working with for a year, by the way. So all of these things, oh, no, maybe not. Oh, sorry, no, not all of these things. Apologies. Again, I produced this a year ago. All right. All of these things other than these two ones at the top, I've not been working with for a year. Yeah, no, not on the level that I'm about to go to now. So I'll just leave it and say no, even though I have slightly, but just not fully. Let's just say I haven't. So I've been working with all of these things for a year. Yo. So like dowsing rods, like, you know, brought a few things today. Like I've showed this before. So in terms of how I do divination, obviously I've got the app, like astrology, so on and so forth, you know, numerology. I'm into all of that stuff on a mad level, on a stupid level. So stupid that I actually built an app that's got 18 different divination systems all integrated into one. I've then built 40, maybe 50, maybe 100 of my own divination tools that I just have in my private space that allow me to do certain calculuses and mathematics and harmonics on certain numbers and so on and so forth. Let's just keep it like that. But then, like I said, we have to manifest this stuff in real life. And so we have the pendulums. We have the pendulums. Most of my water is pendulum, is also doused with energy. So everything becomes shape. So basically what we're saying is that you have 3 ways to heal. Like if you look at the second column, you have type, shape, energy, sound energy, and light energy. Think about those three, yeah? So this pendulum is emitting a light. Why? Because it's 24 karat gold. Obviously, it's a noble platinum. It's a platinum. It's 24 karat purity. The shape of this circle is harmony. The universe, the 2D version of the shape is yeah, we're getting to scalar technology. Don't worry, we're getting there. So this is harmony. This circle represents harmony. This circle at the top is rounded. This is female energy. Yeah. So this is called the Isis pendulum, the 16 Isis pendulum. This pendulum is, I don't know, in my opinion, one of the best in the world, just based on my research and the company who produced it. You know, I back them, like literally, I rep them. So this pendulum is powerful, but it's got 16 energies going down. You see what I mean? So each one of these energies is its own dimension, is its own wave, is its own, do you see what I mean? And because 16 of them are lined up, this one energy, by the time it gets to there, is being amplified 16 times. This is called the 16 Isis pendulum. You can Google it yourself. You can get them online for real cheap. This is a really expensive one, but you can buy a cheap version if you want, like £10, £15, something like that. Yeah, it might not be 24 karat gold, and it's also about the energy of the people that make it. By the way, just put it that way. The reason why this Dowsing pendulum is so expensive is not the metal. It's how it was put together, the intention, the experience of the dowser who was putting it together, who calibrated it, just like a tuning fork. Yeah, so this is like advanced stuff, but where we are. Then it shoots out. So all of that circular female energy then gets pointed out into a point. So I'm basically saying that there is a science of pendulums. Like, I understand shapes enough. And as I'm about to get into even more advanced, like I said, I'm about to go to a stupid level through experimentation, through trial and error, through working with clients, through trying to help people. So it's not an ego thing. It's like literally I'm about to do some more work practically in a physical space, not just theory. But essentially, you should be able to make your own pendulums. You should be able to make your own shapes when you understand harmony. What does a circle do? How does that emit energy? What does a triangle do? How does that emit energy? What does a square do? How does that emit energy? There's only 3 shapes really. After that, it's just repetition. There's only 3 numbers really. After that, it's just repetition. 1, 2, and 3. Square, triangle, circle. You know, after that is repetition. So, yeah, so we work with pendulums, we work with dowsing, we work with all this stuff. Like, I'm not gonna go like, that 4-hour video, I kind of broke this stuff down a bit more. I just don't feel to do it, so you can just Google all of this stuff. But shape, I'll just talk about shapes. Sounds I kind of spoke about through that woman, you know, I've kind of spoken about. Light, yeah. Light therapy, yeah. So this is a custom, yeah, like it is just what it is. I've just been lucky enough in my life to just meet incredible people. So this person is an incredible inventor who's like, I don't know, I'm one of only a couple of people that have got this on in the world, because obviously he got it from a manufacturer. He only ordered 5 basically. I don't know what he's done with all of them. So this creates, I think when I counted up, 24 different modes of light. Blue light therapy, green light therapy, red light therapy, yellow light therapy. They all do different things. Not everything is the same. They have different modes and different combinations for different types of healing modes. Like, it's a real powerful device, like 200 watts. It's a 200-watt device. Real powerful. Very, very powerful. You see what I mean? Like, this has performed miracles. Like, I've said it a couple of times, but like, this literally has performed miracles for people. I've seen healing things happen with this that is beyond my imagination, because all we're really trying to do, I've even already said, the idea of healing is to get back to homeostasis. Homeopathy, homeostasis, that rest state, that inertia state, that balanced state. That's all healing is. Nothing else. It's nothing more, nothing less. So it's nothing more, nothing less. So let me just read the chat, because someone just put a comment in the chat. Would 432 or 440 be better for attempting to click out? 432 all day. I just showed you, bro. 432 all day. 432 all day. Yeah. 440 is the portal out of sync. Exactly. Yeah. So it's not about the 8 number, it's the 440. We have to take these numbers in wholes. Sometimes we over reduce them. We have to, when we over reduce it to the 8, that 8 hertz frequency is going to be a different frequency. You know, I can't wait to, I just need to get this stuff myself so I can just do stuff myself. I'm not really, there's certain things where I can't just follow people because my mind is too creative and too imaginative for me to wait for them to show me something. So when I can see that I can do something myself, see you later. Thank you very much for the inspiration. But, you know, I got my own lanes, I got my own ideas. And so this frequency stuff, I got my own ideas of it that, you know, going to be pretty unique and pretty cool. So yeah, the 161, there you go, exactly, an 8. So yeah, the Fibonacci sequence is 1.61, which is an 8. But obviously there's more, it's an infinite digit, it's an irrational number. So it's an infinite number. But, you know, the first 3 numbers of the Fibonacci sequence is 0 is 1.61, which obviously is an 8. So again, the 8 in itself is not evil. You have to look at these numbers as a whole. Sometimes it's almost like how our mind is as well. Sometimes our mind wants to oversimplify things. It wants to like reduce things down to it's too quick to go to go to a reductionist mindset because obviously our mind is on synchronicity, our mind is on coherence. Just like, let me package this up in its most simple way. So that number 432 must be a 9. And so, oh, that's a 9 energy and that's why it's so good. Do you see what I mean? And I'm saying, no, respect the 432 for what it is. Just accept it for what it is and see it that way first before we go to the reduction. So when I get into numerology, that's why I don't really like Pythagorean numerology as much, because they're too quick to reduce it down to the 9, to the numbers between 1 and 9. And I'm like, but I want to know what the whole number is, because these whole numbers are saying something. There's more of a story in these whole numbers than in just these 9 archetypes that people keep on trying to reduce it down to. Like, hopefully that resonates it. So yeah, I mean, that's just a job for the world, isn't it? Just to take the world's best music and just retune it to 432. Like, that's not my passion. You know, I'll put that out in the ethers. Like, I know there are some times I've listened, went online, I've seen like music that's being tuned to, but it would just be amazing if someone saw their life purpose to just be, to get all the great music, and obviously that's within the eyes of their mind, and just 432 it up. Do you know what I mean? Like that. Imagine turning all of Bob Marley's music into 432. Maybe someone's done it. I've seen certain people do certain stuff and they've went down that rabbit hole. But you could just do it yourself. You can do it yourself. Obviously, it'll take a bit of time, but you can basically just retune these. If you get a good app, a music app. Like, I'm not heavy into music production, but I have produced beats before. Like, I used to do it back in the day, and so you could retune any beat basically into a 432 frequency. It wouldn't take that long, but obviously, you know, it's just whether it would be a priority for you or not. So anyway, let's keep it moving. This is the big thing. So I don't know what the 7th principle is. You gotta tell me what that one is. Promise Music. I don't know what the 7th principle is, or what is that in relation to. So you just did your research on the coil. Yeah. Scalar energy as it goes higher and is being amped and stronger because it's in sync or in phase. Yes. So scalar technology is right here, people. So I have scalar technology. This is Dan Winter's technology. This is like something that he invented like a few months ago. So I was like, well, who cares when I bought it? But yeah, whatever. Anyway, I bought it. We're not just speaking and stuff. So yeah, in here, I'm able to put this and put any frequency. So you can see where I'm going with it. So basically, we've got the frequencies. I've got a massive device that basically I've got a device upstairs that holds 20 liters of water. Sorry, 22 liters of water. So I can put any frequency or set of frequencies into water, like the Schumann resonance, like certain fire ratios, like certain cascades, put that over the water, put that then into a fire bottle with certain things, and we're now creating water on a different level, and then I drink it. Apologies though. I should have shaken it. It's all science, water science. Then I should have put my intention into it, and then I should have drunk it. Bismillah. Yeah. So like live and direct stuff. We're not just like live and direct stuff. But basically the technology that I'm about to get into, like I've researched this stuff for years. And so what's real, the shape and color of time. What is the shape of time? Is that a question, or is that a journey of becoming better self? I love that name, by the way. The journey of becoming better self. I do love that name. So, shape and color of time. Are you saying that? What are you saying? Is there a specific shape and color of time? I would say that there's many colors. I don't know if is that. Oh, sorry. Is that a question or is that a statement? I'm just interested in knowing that. But yeah, so neurofeedback explained. So basically, there are devices. So it's called a Rife machine. Like again, you can just Google this stuff up. You can just Google it while I'm speaking now. So there's something called a Rife machine. Yeah. There is something called Muse. Yeah, Muse 2. My internet is now working, so I'll even just show you some of these devices that I'm talking about that we're working with. So basically, this is a device. This is one of many devices. So this is the technology of the future. Yeah. The technology of the future is vibration. The healing of the future is vibration. Like, it is what it is. Yeah. And so we have the Muse device, for example, which is one of the leaders. It's this one is the consumer level. It's probably one of the top consumer level devices. Although I got my eye on another device that just came out, but like we'll see if I want to wait that long. They're only shipping to the US at the moment. You guys are lucky. Like, yeah, if I was in the US, there's a device that I'd be having right now, but it is what it is. It's cool. It's just come out. So anyway, right now, this is like the leading product. 1,000 reviews. It is what it is. Yeah. And so this can scan brainwaves. So this will allow you to understand your brainwaves and, you know, how quickly you can get into alpha states. Now, this stuff isn't necessarily needed. Like I said, I'm just extra. You just got to remember, I'm extra. You could just meditate for 10 years and you'll know that you're calm. Or you could just meditate and just know that you're calm. But I'm surgical with my stuff. I'm precise with my stuff. So there's just certain things that I want the information on because I want that data. I want that feedback. I want that brain feedback because I want to, like I said, attune certain frequencies. I want to be able to understand, like, this person. So I have a client and they're telling me that they're meditating every day. How do I know how well they're meditating? How, especially if they're maybe new to it and they're not sure of their own body, for example. So if I've got a device that I can just say, look, just go into a meditation state, I'm leaving for an hour, or take this device for a week or whatever, however long I plan it for, boom. And then I'll just get your results and I'll interpret all your results. What was you doing on this day? Because on this day you were meditating, your meditation was mad. I was watching candles, or I was listening to this music. Do you know what? Do that more. Do you see what I mean? So when we're meditating, like we can kind of lose track of time and stuff. So if we've got certain devices, now again, technology is not everybody's approach. Like some people, they just want to, and I'm not saying just as in a put down, like everyone is where they are. I'm quite scientific with my stuff. So, and I'm about to get even more scientific because I just enjoy preciseness. I enjoy measurements. That's just personally me. But you can just stick to a pure intuition thing and just meditate. You don't have to buy a device for it. Just to be clear, just to be real clear. But I will be able to. So once you basically can't know whether it will be very difficult to know how resonant you were being, whether you were to be able to do this without a device. You can maybe guess whether you were in a golden ratio fire harmony based on the Schumann resonance. You could maybe guess that. You maybe, you know, get to a level of experience of meditation where it's just not needed, it's just not necessary. But I would love to be able to tell people, wow, you got to this level today. Because I'm doing work, you know, I'm a spiritual life coach. So today you're here, we do some work, and now this is where you are, you know. So this is the level, obviously, that I go to. So yeah, we got biofeedback, basically. All biofeedback is just reading signals from your body based on vibration and frequency. That's what biofeedback is. And it's done in real time. So EEG is just an electrical scanner that what measures, measures the electricity. That's all it is. It measures the electricity. There's a whole bunch of devices. This is a whole science that I've been into. Like I said, there's a channel that you can follow as well. So if you're interested in getting these devices, again, I'm going to work with my clients. Some of my clients won't be able to afford this. It is what it is. Like, how much does it cost? There's not everyone that can afford this stuff, plus all the other stuff I've got as well. You know, you might not be able to afford it. It is what it is. So you come to me for one session. Cool. So, what was I going to show? I was going to show you something. I was going to show you someone else's website. So again, I'm just trying to give out information that is like useful. You guys can do your own research. Randy Colson, what's his name again? Oh, please and please. Cody. What's his name? Yeah, I've not. Yeah, I've got. Yeah, I'll try and get his name. But basically, there is a great channel that I follow that covers neurofeedback devices from a clinical level. This guy's a clinical practitioner. You know, he has his own clinic, and he works with a whole bunch of neurofeedback devices. And he's basically he's become like a world leader on YouTube. Basically, he's like the one that brings out new products basically on YouTube. So this is just a guy that I follow. I can't remember, it's like Cody Randy or something, or Randy something. I'll get up later. So anyway, or ask me for it. If you want me to send it to you, ask it for me, and I will spend like 30 seconds switching back onto my other channel to get the name. So these are your different brain waves. The reason why you want to know your different brain waves, because different brain waves put you at different modes of consciousness. So obviously, know thyself. What are we? Fundamentally, we understand that the fundamental substrate of the universe is consciousness, or is ether, depending on how you want to express it. And so when we're learning, we want to get into certain states. So we want to get into an alpha state. Optimized cognitive performance is in an alpha state. So most people that are focused on, let's say, making money, focused on business, focused on actually manifesting in this universe, in this actual physical realm, making an impact on this physical realm, they want to master the alpha state. If you want to master your dream world, lucid dreaming, whatever things you do when you're sleeping, you're going to work with other states. You're going to work with other states. You're going to work with the slower states. So these deeper states like theta and delta. So our body heals at delta. Why? Because our body is in perfect rest, or, you know, the rest before death, basically. Not perfect rest, but the rest before death. So that's where our body is healed. Yeah. Oh, if you haven't hit the like button, smash the like button, please. Thank you. So again, this is just more examples. Just like, it will tell you when you're overactive in certain areas, and, you know, stuff like this. Like, this is a different device. This isn't the Muse. This is another device, but this one's more clinical. This one's real expensive. It's more clinical. I'm not going to invest in it, but like, these guys are like, I'm not a clinical person. Like, the way in which I heal, I come in more from a shamanistic approach, like working with intuition, working with pendulums. So I'm not trying to be a doctor. That's what my wife's for. She's a homeopath. I know homeopaths. I know people that have clinics that I can work with as well if I need to go to those levels. You know, it's like a team, basically. I have a team that we're building. Yeah, all right, cool. Showed that already. The peak consciousness. The key thing here is, again, comparing the golden ratio, the harmonic shape of bliss, peak consciousness. Flaming mind is the tool, but it only works with a device. You'd have to get like a Muse device, which again costs money. So, do what you want, or come see me, and I can hook you up. Yeah, we'll just skip it. Like, you get the idea. All right, someone's asked a question. Do the lights help or correspond to different chakras depending on the color? No. It's not. So this light is not a chakra healing. Again, sometimes we get too caught up. I don't want to say chakras don't exist, although they're not true. But I'm basically saying that the placebo is 50%. Yeah. So if you think something and you believe it, that you've done at least 50% of the job before you've even taken a drug. Yeah, that's what the placebo effect tells you. Yeah, that half of the work is done in the brain. I would say more, but keep it real simple. Half of the work is done by the brain to a normal mind. To an untrained mind, even someone that just believed in something, to an untrained mind, could get to a 50% level. So the way I look at chakras is I look at them as archetypes. So who created God? Did we create God, or does God create us, or are we God, or are we co-creators? Because do we create these archetypes and these metaphors and these myths to help us understand certain archetypes and the interplay of different energies? Because it's not like the chakras are universal, to be honest. You only see the chakras in the Hindu system. In the Chinese system, you see the dantians. They have the free energy centers and meridian points. So this isn't for me. So what I'm trying to say is this stuff is a bit more granular. It's a bit more provable in terms of, and I do work with chakras, by the way, just to be clear. Just literally, I work with chakras. Yeah, this is one of those what they call a reference book. You can go buy this book. It's a reference book on chakras, the wheels of life. Like over 200,000 copies sold. I've had this book for years, over a decade easily. Probably like 15 years. Probably that book is old. So this works with different frequencies based on the wavelength. It's not focused on chakras, it's focused on the wavelength. There is so much science on light therapy. I'd put you to sleep with how much science documents that there is and research papers. It's so mainstream that this is now entered into beauty clinics. Go ask your wife, or most of the women will know about red light therapy. The top athletes, most of the top athletes are using some form of red light therapy in their healing procedure as part of their healing modality. And so different lights just correspond to different things because they have different penetrations. So some things attack your skin, some things attack your more cells or your blood, let's just say. And so that's based on the frequency, because certain frequencies are smaller. So near infrared is nanometers. So it's measured in nm, which is basically nanometers. Tiny, let's just say tiny. And so it's able to penetrate further than a circle that's big. That's why when I showed you that water image, you saw bubbles. And again, I'm about to go to another level with it. I'll have to do a part 2 to this video. Like, there'll be some there might be a day where I'm just like, here's my machines, like, just here's all of them. Like, literally, I work with this doesn't really leave my side. This is my pendulum. I work with this all the time. Like, all the time. I can edit all the time. So this was on me. Like, all of my stuff is like in a different room basically. And then I went to go see a guy about a guy, and then that's what I took, And then this has just been in this room. So like, I haven't actually designed this room to show you stuff. This was just stuff that was around me here, but most of my stuff is upstairs. So anyway, let me just check the question. Do the lights? Yeah, so it's not necessarily about chakras anyway, is the answer. It's more about frequencies and wavelengths for specific modalities, like things so for example, one of the lights, they help with the skin more. Like if you've got acne, if you've got wrinkles, this is why they, obviously people that are into aesthetics and beauty, they want to deal with their wrinkles. They want to deal with it. So there's a certain light that you would play. Whereas if you want to hit on a cellular level, like I said, you would play a different light. And then this basically, this light has got a mode which basically gets you into a hypnagogic state. Hypnagogic state. You can Google it. I don't have to spell that stuff. Hypnagogic. A hypnagogic state is essentially an induced hallucination, an induced psychedelic experience. So this light has a thing, like, so when I turn it onto this, like I said, this so I'm just thinking of my cousin. So I'm sorry, I just got a little bias past story. So I'm thinking of my cousin. So basically, like I said, I tell my cousin about this spiritual thing that I just put these lights and I put it into this hypnagogic state. And then this woman tells me about this crazy story about how she was seeing these lights in her tears in her when she was crying. And I've explained this story before. But basically, this woman just started crying. So one of my clients, she just started crying a day after I had shown her these lights, had put her in a hypnagogic state. And she was saying that the tears that she was seeing were the same color of the patterns that she was seeing in this hallucination that her mind's eye was playing to her. And when she was crying, she was seeing these same colors. And I was like, yeah, I know, because that's because your body is obviously expelling itself. Your body is, it was just going through a healing process. I told that to my cousin, this story. My cousin's never had anything like psychedelics or any hallucinations or anything like that, basically. So I was like, oh, do you want me to do it to you? She was like, nah, sir. She was like, no. Because again, like, quite honestly, this is real serious stuff, isn't it? Like, she was cautious that I might unlock something that she's not ready to experience or ready to receive. And so her body was tightening up. And then that's when I would never force it. Like, what? If your body's not ready for it and your body's tightening up, well, then just say no to it, isn't it? Obviously, your body's just telling you no. You haven't received it with an open heart. So go with the closed heart for this particular moment. It doesn't mean she's a closed person. It just means not everything is for everybody. Maybe she needs to do some more work before she gets to the yes. That's absolutely fine. So, yeah. All right. Where are we anyway? All right, cool. So, boom, boom, biofeedback therapy. Yes, these are the benefits of biofeedback therapy. As I said, you can look into things like the Rife machine. So there's something called Carillion technology. Yeah, let me see if I got it up here. All right. Let's just show you this one quickly. So Carillion photography. All right, let's see if we can see. Ah, it's so good that my laptop's working. Well, it was always working. It was with me, literally. Basically, the boring story is that I went to someone's house, my business meeting today about these whole devices and stuff. Left my charger there, and so I had to put my laptop on low power mode. And then I went and bought a charger and then forgot to take off low power mode. So that's basically the story. All right, cool. So where's that image just gone? So this is called a Carillion machine, yeah? So one of the descriptions of the universe is that the universe is plasma. Yeah, I'm not going to go heavy into the science of plasma stuff today. Plasmoids. I might explain it a little bit, but basically it's like, how do I explain this most simple term? Lightning is plasma. So it's high vibrational light, it's high light, high vibration light. Yeah. Plasma. Our blood is plasma. High vibration. And what was the image? There's a machine called the Carillion machine. Again, Russians created this machine. Or maybe Ukrainian or something, but yeah, Eastern European anyway. And this allows you to see the plasma body of energy. So remember when we were talking about the etheric body, we were talking about the energy body, we were talking about the soulful body, whatever, the emotional body. We also have a plasma body. And so this plasma body will show you essentially the energy that you're emitting. And I said this plasma body is like vibrations. I'm looking for a particular picture. I've got these somewhere else, but I'm not sure where I've got them. Here it is. Here's the classic picture. Here's the classic picture. So this image is of boiled broccoli. Yeah, just trust me on this one because I've seen this millions of times years ago. So this is basically boiled broccoli. This is the broccoli before it's been boiled. So it's lost this life force. You know, in Qigong, they talk about vital force. The vital force, the Qi. Yeah, that vital force is basically either enhanced or reduced. And that vital force, when you boil a vegetable, it loses its nutrients, it loses its vitality. And this Carillion machine is basically a signature of it losing its plasma body, which is only one body. So it may have other energies. It may have, I'm not trying to say it's dead, but we can see in one particular dimension, it has lost this energy. That's something you can clearly say. Like you can say that as a fact. It has lost this energy because we've killed it with heat in this particular aspect. So if you wanted to get the most bioavailable vitality, nutrition, I'm mixing my words here, like, but these words are kind of similar, you know, just take it as what it is. You would eat certain foods raw, or you would eat it in a soup, and then the nutrients from the soup or from the broccoli then goes into the soup, and obviously, you know, you're eating it back. So, and obviously we've got ones as well. So like, there's other examples as well where they show you like, oh yeah, this is the classic one. This is the one I've got saved. I don't know why that image is chopped off for. Here it is. There you go. This is the classic image. I got it somewhere on my hard drive, or in my notes. See, look, I did get it right. My memory's decent. Cooked broccoli, raw broccoli. Cooked tomato, raw tomato. Cooked meat, raw meat. So again, I'm not now saying that everyone needs to go on a raw diet, but you can kind of understand why you would want to have some kind of raw foods in your diet. It's just like, again, a picture should tell 1,000 words at some point. I don't really want to get technical with this stuff. There shouldn't be that much of a need to. So what we're doing here is that same technology, that same Carillion technology is in this particular device called a GDV machine. Again, I'm not holding any secrets back. If you got the money, knock yourself out. You can buy this stuff. It's like $2.5 grand. Yeah. And you basically put your fingers in there. Like I went to an exhibition, I went to a trade show, like, or some spiritual show or something like that, wellness show, exhibition. And I finally got my chance to try. I finally got my chance to try a machine. It was the funniest thing ever. Basically, I'm at my first ever wellness machine. I was so high vibration, it was unbelievable. And so then I find this GDV machine. I was like, finally, I can test this GDV machine. I've known about this machine for years. It was so funny. All of my chakras were basically like this, balanced. Like this is basically, the more center it is, the more balanced your chakras are. Literally just, let's just keep it like that, yeah. Real simple analysis. My crown chakra was like this here. Every single chakra was balanced and my crown chakra was here. I was just busting up. And the guy who was doing it was like a proper meditator. It was like a proper chilled out, you know, runs a meditation center basically in the UK. And he didn't even know my name. He's like, yeah, you need to like, he could just feel my energy as well. Cause I was in this place where I was just like in around spiritual technology. I'm a real excitable character and I'm in this spiritual place. So I know that I could center myself anytime, but I was going with the moment. I was so enjoying myself being in this exhibition center. So I wasn't surprised when I saw that my crown chakra was like peak height, which was like unbalanced. Like to sustain that over a long period of time, that would be unhealthy. That would cause a certain stress to the body. But obviously, you know, I'm not about mastering the zero. Someone like a meditator is like, oh, you always should be balanced and always should be in equanimity. I don't believe that. I'm about range and bandwidth. I want to be able to master the zero, the balance state, and then I also want to master states of excitation. I don't. None of them are good or bad to me. This is just about tools, leverage, essentially. These are about leverage, in my own opinion. And so basically, this essentially would show like a real healthy body. There's no holes in the aura, is what I call it. Remember before we spoke about the black hole? There's no holes in this person's aura body. Hair's maybe a little bit weak, you could say. Maybe there's some work to be done here. But this person is 92% balanced. It looks like they're not. Okay, I've never really looked at this properly. But yeah, this person's 92% balanced. That's so interesting here. Again, this is the kind of stuff when I start working with this stuff, I'll be able to notice patterns. Because I can see like a little circle here. It looks like this energy is magnetized into this energy here. It looks like there is it almost looks like there's a communication between this energy and this energy here. Again, I've never noticed this stuff before. I've never noticed this before. But it's an arc. Like, I'm getting a bit technical with stuff, but there's something called an arc. There's something called a plasma arc. Like, again, you can just look this stuff up. It's where you get ball lightning from. Basically, the universe will be saved by ball lightning. Or when we understand how to harness the energy of ball lightning, you can look up ball lightning. You've basically mastered energy to a degree. Like, I'm just giving you guys hints. Like, there's only so much I can do today. And then so again, this is just another machine that just is about an energy thing. It's called a GDV machine or a BioWell. The company's called BioWell. I'll even just put it in here. You can just look at this stuff yourself. BioWell. So I researched this a year ago, and a year ago this was my #1 machine I was gonna get. But time passes, and so there's another device I'm gonna get, which I've not had time to put on here, and I'm not gonna reveal it today because I haven't had time to put it on here. But for me, yeah, yeah, we're coming. That's all I'm saying. We're coming. All right, cool. So yeah, basically we make structured water. So the structured water is H2O. The bond angle is 108. What's the time now? 10:30. Oh, this video's long. Yeah. All right, cool. But it's a one and done. I feel like this is like the introduction into the alchemy of frequencies. Like I said, I'm not trying to get too technical and use too many fancy big words and trying to, I'm gonna say show off, but like, yeah, whatever that is when you go technical, it's not what I'm trying to do. So the bond angle can be interpreted as 104, but it's also 108. 108. Yeah, of course. There's many people that practice semen retention as well, is a thing. Yeah, so most people know about it as well. There's a lot of people that understand the science of tantra, semen retention, for example. Yeah, anyway. So 108. I can't do it today. You can check out Ken Wheeler's video talking about the Pythagorean triangle. I'm gonna put Ken Wheeler and then triangle. Just put Ken Wheeler triangle. Yeah. And he will blow your mind in terms of the relationship between the Pythagorean triangle, Hindu text, and water. That's all I'll say. And it's all based on the 108, which is the most sacred number in the Hindu Vedic literature and culture, the number 108. And it's based on the 108 and 36 and 36, which is basically the geometry of water. This is basically it in its environmental state. But water is actually 108 when it's like when it's not like magnetized, when it's not in environment. If you was to take it in its isolated state, it would be 108. But obviously nothing is in isolation, so it's at 104. But yeah, just that. Real simple. This triangle. Okay, cool. So I actually did it here. So basically, this is the most perfect shape. So just using Ken Wheeler's terms, this is the most perfect 3D shape in the universe. It is argued. The reason why it's argued is this is a perfect phi ratio triangle. So we're saying that you have the circle, which obviously it doesn't have a shape to a degree. You know, it's a curvature. The first shape itself, or the second shape anyway, however you want to frame it, basically, we just got the triangle. Let's just talk about the triangle. Yeah. And then in that triangle, the reason why the Pythagorean triangle is perfect is because this is based on the phi ratio. So this is a 1, and then this is a 1.168. So here would represent the 1, and here would be the 1.168. So this triangle has created itself onto itself, and you could make this fractal. So you could take this triangle here, which is that same triangle here, and you put the line here, and then you get another phi ratio triangle, you know, going into itself, what we call recursion. And then with this triangle, you could create another triangle, put a split there. Do you see what I mean? So this triangle set itself up for perfect fractality. Yeah. This triangle, which has set itself up for perfect fractality, perfect harmonic resonance based on the phi ratio, coincidentally happens to be the same angle for water. Now, it's not a coincidence, obviously, but we're just saying that life is in the geometry, which is reflected in water. Without water, there is no life. Show me somewhere on the planet or in the universe where there is water, or where there is no water, and I'll show you no life. And I'm talking about like biological, basically, an organism, or organic. You would need water. You know, no life on Mars. They can't find the water. They find water. Oh, maybe there's life on Mars. Yeah. So yeah, basically, yeah. Again, I just feel like not to get too technical, but you can structure water now. Again, I have devices that are unique. That, you know, I work with inventors that just bless me with stuff. It's incredible how lucky and fortunate I am. So I have a light which structures the water, where it basically separates the charge of the water to become a battery. Is what structured water is doing. It separates this charge and the ions, and when you have positive in one space and negative in the other space, you create a battery. So this water that's been charged, well, I didn't charge it, this water that's been charged is essentially more electric because it's turned itself into a battery through me separating the positive and the negative ions. Yeah. And yeah, I'm not going to get into that stuff. That's too technical. But you have a 4th phase of water. So this water now becomes more like your blood, which we said was what? Plasma. So this guy, Gerard Pollack, discovers a 4th phase of water, which he calls EZ water, which some people now call structured water. It's the same thing. EZ water is structured water. And this guy's a real scientist. This is a real serious guy. His practice is study. He don't speak no conspiracy stuff. He's very careful in how he speaks because he's trying to get funding. Just keep it like that, yeah. he's trying to get funding. So he can only speak a certain way, but like, you know, he winks sometimes, and you know, he knows what's going on. And remember when we was looking at chaos? So remember we was looking at that image of tap water and that chaos, and then we was looking at harmony. So that structured water that you're seeing when you're seeing those bubbles, and you saw that harmony that allowed it to then create the space for the torus field, that was based on structured water. That tap water is going to be chaos, similar to like the 440 wave. That's what's happening when you're drinking tap water most of the time, unless you pray over it or do something else, basically to purify it. to harmonize it. Let's just even use the word to harmonize it. And so the difference between a crystal, I don't have a rock, but the difference between a crystal and a rock is that a crystal is structured and a rock has no structure. A rock is like 440 and a crystal is like 432. Quartz crystal, by the way. So that's the difference between the two. I'm a show off. Yeah, I am. You ain't seen nothing yet. I ain't taking you upstairs. But yeah, it's like we just, yeah, I'm a show off. Like, it's what it is. Like, I'm a show off. I like to show and prove. Oh, my bad. Yeah, that's the camera that broke. So I like to show and I like to show and prove. Do you see what I mean? So like, I have the mind of an alchemist. And so at some point I have to get out the books, you know. At some point I have to come out of the books. At some point I have to come out of the books and actually do the Qigong. How great am I going to be at Qigong if I just read a book on Qigong? This book's on Qigong, by the way. It's the first book I ever bought on Qigong. This is the guy who I learned Qigong from 15 years ago. It's a great book. Got all of the positions and the states and all that kind of stuff. Like, you can just see the stuff here. Anyway, so reference book, Energy Medicine, Donna Eden, reference. That's how thick the book is. Again, I've had it for about 15 years. So these are reference books, I would say. Obviously, you know, who am I to say what's a reference book? But, you know, she sold millions of copies or hundreds of thousands of copies. Like, yeah. What about the number 31? Why did you mention the number 31 for? Like, because I feel like you're the first person that I don't think I've seen your name before, Promise Music. So I don't know if you've read into my mind, but the way because obviously synchronicity, anyone knows me knows all my videos before this are almost talking about synchronicity, especially when I talk about divination and stuff. I talk about synchronicity. And I say that the number 31 is my number of spiritual healing. Now, that won't be for everybody. This is what I'm trying to say. Like, what I actually teach people is that if you're really serious about stuff, you'll get your own dictionary. You would create your own journal and start documenting numbers in your life, why and when you see them. Again, time and space, why, when, and then the amplitude, the energy. Like, how strong is that number? I saw it 3 times. I saw it at this time when someone passed away, you know. And you start journaling these numbers, and these numbers will start speaking to you. So when I speak about the number 31, I'm not looking at it just from a harmonic resonance perspective. That's something different. But for me, the 31 is one of my master numbers. Like, so not for me, master numbers are not 22, 33, 44. I understand why they're saying they're master numbers, but for me, master numbers are the numbers that resonate that most with me, the numbers that alchemize my soul. That's what a master number is for me personally. But I understand, obviously, you know, the literature, what they tell you. And so for me, that number 31 is my number of spiritual healing. I don't know how you knew, I don't know how that worked out, because no one's really speaking about numbers today. Oh, yo, biogeometry. Yeah, so no one's speaking about numbers. So number 31. So yeah, someone just put in the chat, biogeometry, Dr. J. Kareem. Yeah, Upper Fox Ghetto, bro. You or female, hit me up, man. Basically, I'm looking to build with like minds. This is it. Like, I'm a real small channel. I just started out. Who am I in the world? Like, I'm a nobody in the world. All this stuff. I love it. It's whatever. You know, I've got my little den, my palace, you know, my safe space, all of that good stuff. But I'm also looking to connect with people. I also do free readings as well, by the way, for 10-minute tasters and all that kind of stuff. I do a 10-minute taster reading. And just hit me up as well to build, because there's not too many people that know about this book. There's not too many people that know about this guy. So I'm saying that I'm nothing special. I just stand on the shoulders of giants. The best thing that I can say that I do is I stand on the shoulders of giants. This guy, Ibrahim Karim, is a giant. He's a giant. I'm always going to be a better student than I am a teacher. Always. All day, every day. And I don't want to change either. I always want to be a better student than a teacher. So, Ibrahim Karim is talking about shapes. Like I got some of his, whatever, anyway. I got some of his technologies. I've actually got his course. So I've got Ibrahim Karim's premier course on how to work with shapes on the most advanced level. Because for me, this guy is one of the leaders on shapes and healing. And this is what I'm trying to say in terms of like, this might not look like harmony, but there's harmony happening here, if you know what I want. So yeah, organ energy, all of that stuff. All right, cool. Where are we? All right, yeah, so that was just more of the woman's images. That's more thing. This is water. Yeah, basically, yeah, I don't want to get into all this stuff. It's like different types of water, basically. Just, I just don't feel to get this technical. Talking about different types of water. All right, so at the moment, I'm focusing on structured water. But I'm about to get an alkaline water. I mean, just put a lemon. Oh yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can do this stuff for free. If you want to make alkaline water, squeeze a lemon juice in there. If you want to focus on structured water, drink fruit. Coconut water is structured water. Yeah. So you don't have to buy these expensive. There's always an alternative that is cheaper or that is free. So I'm not just about spending money on, like, you know, it's just where I choose to focus my attention, my money is on investing in this stuff. But you don't have to, basically. You don't have to. You've got other ways. If you want alkaline water, literally squeeze a lemon in your water or put some bicarbonate soda in your water. If you want structured water, drink coconut water. All right, reverse osmosis. You got to buy a machine for that one. Hydrogen water. You got to buy a machine for that one. Distilled water is pretty cheap, but you could buy a machine for that one. You could boil your water. You know, if your scale is, if your kettle is clean, it would help as well in terms of lime scale and stuff. But yeah, but basically I'm about to get these machines, this reverse osmosis, and more funnily, more importantly, hydrogen water, to add to my to add on top of my. So I'm basically looking to, so let's just say the new version of my water at the moment, I've got 15 processes. The next few processes is structured hydrogen reverse osmosis water with the technologies and all the other stuff I got upstairs in the actual, with the machine. All right, cool. Benefits. Yeah, no, just, so yeah, these are all the benefits of water, of the spiritual water. Oh, she's saying, please show off more. So I don't know if you're male or female, so, but yeah, saying show off more. Yeah, now all of my stuff is upstairs, and I have a loft room, and so it's like 2 floors, and it's like 11 o'clock where I am, so I'm not walking that way upstairs, and as we keep the chat. So, are there any more books? All right, so again, books can change your world. Words are worlds. Pranayama, breathing techniques that taps you into the zero. Pranayama just is another word for breathing. Yeah, prana obviously is work with your vital force, spiritual energy. This is one of those classic texts. There's many classic texts. This definitely is one of them. Like, this book is mad. You know what I mean? It's got all the techniques. It just has all the techniques, you know, your alternative nostril breathing, if people know what that one is. So on and so forth. Biogeometry. Basically, I ain't gonna lie. So I've got a biogeometry. All right. Let me go into something interesting. What's my people gonna be on? What? Sirius. I just did some bibliomancy. I didn't flick to any page in fairness, but I stopped at the page of Sirius. Look what it's saying. The Sirius Odyssey. Creating the sacred space for rituals. Yeah, so that's the page I'm going to read. Let's put a bookmarker into that. So again, if you're not in London, then I can't. There is certain remote healing things that I can do. And also I've got the divination stuff. So when I combine healing with divination, you know, hopefully your imagination can see, or maybe it could, maybe it can't. But yeah, I'm not going to explain it today. It's getting a bit late now. But yeah, all of these things will be combined. Spiritual life coaching, divination, and energy healing is going to be combined in like services, in like a one-off service, in workshops, in group sessions and stuff. But obviously I'm based in London, so this basically is about me building a center in London, or a space in London to help people. So essentially what we're doing, like I'm basically saying that we're now open. I've been open for a year, but I haven't said anything too much to people. I don't really speak about it that often. No, Ken Wheeler's triangle is not 60 degrees. As I said, it's 108. Well, I didn't say it. It's Ken Wheeler's triangle is 108, 36, 36. So 108 and then 36, 36, which then obviously equals the 180. So these are the sacred numbers that are in the phi ratio and also the pentagram. So when you understand how special that pentagram is, and I'm not talking even about it I'm talking about it from a pure geometry. And as the Greeks always, it was the ancient Greeks that always had the upside down pentagram. And then again, what did they do? They turned they turned one of the most sacred symbols in the universe into the devil. Why? To scare you off of it. So I just realized I'm not sharing my camera. Sorry. 36. Sorry. 108. 36. 36. Yeah. That's what that angle is. And this would represent the 1. And then this would represent 1.618. I swear, I feel like I've been saying 1.16. I don't even know what I've been saying, to be honest. But yeah, it's 1.618 is here. And so that is the perfect 1. That is how the 1 creates the 1 in perfect harmony, as I've said. So, all right. Yeah, so that's the perfect triangle is not 60 degrees. That's an equilateral triangle. Again, everything has its own purpose. So we're talking about self-replication here. Amplifying and cascading. If you keep things equilateral, so this pendulum would be more this pendulum is harmonic. It's equilateral. It's the same size. Whereas if you had the pendulum where each circle was increasing, either going up or down, obviously you could turn it upside down, but it was basically more as a triangle, then that energy now becomes a point source energy. Just like a pyramid or a temple, or many temples, you know, the ones that represent the male, you know, would have a erect point, which allows you to go laser focused. It allows for a laser focusing of energy. Yeah. Yeah, that's beautiful, man. All right, so yeah, I'm about to get up out of here. Like I've inspired one person to go and do some water experiments. So my job is done. Like that's it. Like if I could have one more person, if I could have one more person in the world that can just see it from my point of view. The only way you can see it from my point of view is by doing the work. There's no amount of books that's going to make you see it from my point of view. I guarantee it. Because I'm not thinking logically all the time. My mind works in alchemy. My mind works in spiritual, sacred, 0 point, ether, scalar, plasma, science. I can't even explain some of the stuff. I can't explain some of the stuff. Like, I'll just show you this last picture before I get out of here, just to give you further inspiration for I mean, you said you're gonna do it anyway, so but yeah, I just look for this one image. Just showing off, as we say, we're showing off. Showing off. You lot don't mind me flexing. All right, where's my image? Where's that image? God, blimey, we go into a lot. All right, let's do this one. All right. So I've shown this video once before. Again, it's kind of this stage. Who listens to videos for the whole 3 hours or 2 hours? I would imagine 5% of people, if that. So I showed this image in a video about a month ago at the 3 hour stage. So I don't think many people saw it. We're at the 3 hour stage again, and I'm showing this now again. So it is what it is. You know, who was supposed to see it was supposed to see it. I feel like this is lower quality than the one I had, you know. It's cool. I took more than one image. Let me see. Got another image. I feel like I got another one somewhere, but it's fine. All right, cool. Basically, so the story goes, the real quick story goes, is that I don't have many people in my life, friends-wise. I got a few friends, but I'm like a bit of a hermit, basically. And my relationships are strong. We might not speak all the time because I'm researching this stuff. I have a family as well. I'm married. I have 3 children. So, you know, you get older, you get busy, whatever. Just standard stuff with friends. So they're my day ones. But my whole point is I haven't had a falling out with a friend for 25 years. What did we say? It was 25 years. I can't remember to do maths. About 20 years, sorry. It was the last time I fell out with someone. 20 years ago. So I'm not really a disagreeable person. There's no reason for me to fall out. Why am we falling out for? I then fell out with somebody the day before I before I froze this. And so when I was doing my meditation, I couldn't get into this normal state that I get into, which is a real nice state of meditation, because I had an argument with a friend, like, you know, like, and this image. So when I was meditating, basically, I didn't put my hand over this water, by the way, to change its energy. This was just the water that I was making for that day when I was making my structured water, you know, so you can see the bubbles. It's not like there ain't mad amount of bubbles in here, but the bubbles have had to form a shape because I basically asked the water to show me the energy. I asked the water basically just to show me my energy. It's what I'll do. It's one of the things that I'll do. Show me my energy. Yeah. And so I'll say, show me my energy. And it shows a broken heart. The most craziest thing. It showed a broken heart. And then what's crazy as well here is that you see this perfect hexagram. Sorry, this perfect pentagram. Obviously, we see a perfect pentagram. I won't say perfect, but you know, a little bit elongated in fairness, a bit longer this way. But that pentagram is creating now. At this time, I was working with the number 111. These 3 ones. I have a clearer picture somewhere. But oh right, I just realized I'm not sharing my camera. That's so funny. My bad. Sorry, here's the water. You lot could have told me, man. Yeah, look. Here's a heart. Basically, this image shows a broken heart. This was mind-blowing. It showed me a broken heart. That was the energy that I was resonating with. Because literally, like, a friend that I've known for over 30 years, by the way. It wasn't like someone I met yesterday. A friend that I've known for 30 years, one of my close friends, you know, kind of had to part ways, basically. And this is what this image shows me. The broken heart. And then you can see these 3 dots. You can see this hexagon. This means other things to me. Like, I don't want to go into it too much. But basically, I was working with the number 111. So I'm getting questions in the chat, but yeah, so basically, yes, I want to answer the questions in the chat because that's more important than me just telling the structure. So let me just read up to the chat. Have you read the Kabbalion? To a degree. To a degree. I've not read it. I put it this way. Very rarely do I read books cover to cover. I kind of go surgical with stuff and just get what I want. There are some books that I've read cover to cover, but like this energy medicine book, I've never read this cover to cover. But I'll read specific techniques and specific things for specific reasons. So me personally, and I'm also not a big book reader. So I get more of my knowledge from listening to audio, like audio recordings and YouTube, let's just say. So me personally, I don't really read. So the Kabbalion, I've not read cover to cover, but you can say I live the principles, the 7 principles daily. Like, again, I've shown people this a couple times, but this is over 10 years old, this image. Maybe not over 10 years old, but in here, this is me working with the number 28. But essentially, on this middle line, you've got the 7. Is it the middle line? What line is it? Yeah, the middle line. You've got the 7 hermetic principles. So this is the stuff I live. It's like, again, books are cool. Books are great. But do you have a relationship with the 7 laws? Again, it's not me to like this. No, I haven't is the answer. But my whole point is that I took enough from the bits that I did read and the other things that I did research that wasn't the Kabbalion, but things that were commentaries on the Kabbalion, let's just say, to then, okay, how do I embody this on a daily basis? So, all right, cool. I'm just reading through the chat. So I live by the 31 rules. I don't know what 31 rules are. What science does the 31 rules come from? Promise Music. Please let me know. I'm always looking for new information. And especially ciphers. So obviously you've got like the 48 powers of law and all that kind of 42 laws of Ma'at, so on and so forth. So I've never heard one around the 31 rules. That'd be interesting if you could share that. All right, so I'm going to do some water experiments for sure. Water imprinting, yes, please do that. Yeah, wonderful. Why not, man? Yeah, dub scientist. Yeah. You know, roots and culture. I'm into roots and culture, by the way. That's my favorite, second favorite genre after hip hop. Maybe my first genre, DNA wise, maybe my first. So anyway, have you read the Kabbalion? I'll catch up for more. I'll see you later. Yep, you should see me later. So late now. Can you structure water through a hose pipe against the speaker with a 4-3-HZ? So you're thinking cymatics. So again, that's just a science I didn't mention today, but like this is where a lot of this science comes from, which is cymatics. So that is basically where you take any frequency and you basically put it through a speaker, or you put it through a sound, or you basically, essentially, this is me doing the cymatics. I'm just not doing the visual version of it. I'm just using it as audio frequencies as opposed to putting it on a plate or sand or whatever. Like, so yeah, that would tune it. That would tune it. That would tune it. That would send the vibrations into it. Of course it would. In terms of, it's debatable whether you would see that at a molecular level, though. So I'm an alchemist, so I don't need to try and be a doctor, quite honestly. I don't want to be a doctor. I don't want to go to school for 7 years. I just don't want to. I just have no desire. So as a materialist would want to see a sample of the water and to see the frequency change after you've taken it away. Yeah. But I'm basically saying the way how I'm seeing water, the way how I know water works, apologies, in the geometry, is that water holds memory for its geometry. That 108, 36, 36 is a geometry, is a memory container. So water is related to memories. Most people know that water is related to memories. And it's the structure of the water, that bond angle of the water, that allows it. It's not the water itself, it's the angle of the water. So the more you can structure it, the more memory it has. So the reason why I'm saying that basically is that you will get a scientist that will say, well, we've run it through labs and tests and nothing has changed. Yeah. And you have to just agree with them. The facts don't lie. Nothing has changed on the material world. But I'm saying that there's devices and water has memory. So when you tune it to the 432 frequency, that's when that's now being stored in its DNA. That's been stored in its DNA. That is not, we don't have the technology to understand that, but we know it's there, and that's why we use things like water divining. We use things like water imprinting to understand the spiritual technology. Would this, there's no device that we can use that I know of, if you do let me know, that you can hook up to a machine and tell you that this water is speaking about a broken heart. It won't do that because it will change. Because I had a broken heart for that moment, but that same water, when I go to it another day, it's going to say something else because my energy's changed. Nothing stays the only constant is change. And so when you're putting that 432 in there, you're imprinting it. But this is why the key to everything is your imagination and your attention, your attention and your attention and your intention, using your imagination, your heart space, and putting that in the water as well, to then connect your body with the 432. If you're not doing that, then you're not maximizing, you're not potentizing, homeopathy words, you're not potentizing the vital force, the energy of the water. All right. So, oh, my southern neighbors greets, invert everything or most things, invert. Hermeticisms, yeah? Ah, okay, yeah. Of course. Yeah, we know this. We know this. And so, yeah, I mean, yeah, you just need to not be scared of nothing. Like, I don't fear. Fear is like a part of separation. Fear is a part of division. I don't play division. I play discernment. You know, we play the game of discernment. So I wonder where they found a corpus hermetica, not in Greece. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Quite honestly, a lot of these. So yeah, I'm kind of signing off with this. Like, I'm signing off with this just because that was a really nice comment as well, in terms of like, oh, how do we know the source of this material? Like, you know, there's a whole bunch of controversy, not even controversy. You just need to know the knowledge of the emerald tablets, for example, if people are following this stuff. But like, a lot of the stuff that have been written in the emerald tablets is like not true. It's fabricated. It's not, there's no evidence for it. Like, who wrote these texts? You know, it's like we've taken an idea and we've just ran with it because we want to believe in it. And now the emerald tablets, they speak truth. And so, just what I mean, like, AI right now could create a Bible if it wanted to. Do you see what I mean? So like, AI could literally right now create a Bible, and in a million years time, everyone's believing this Bible. And then and because we believe in it, it's now true because we manifest our own reality. We create our own reality. This is a co-creation. And so the most important thing in my mind is testing, is usefulness. Is it useful? How are you using it? That's the most important thing. If the information can't be used, then you have to question how much value it really has, or you have to question whether it was really resonant for you, because maybe that book, it just wasn't for you. You see what I mean? So yeah, anyway, we're about to sign out, man. Yeah, I'm just hugely excited. I really just want to now go and chill. I'm gonna go watch some football. That's really what I'm gonna do. Watch my football team. Um, and yeah, if you haven't subscribed, if you haven't liked, you might as well. If this far in the video and you like this kind of information, you might as well subscribe and might as well like. Yeah, I'll sign off by saying I'm not sitting here as a master practitioner that's got 30 years of experience healing people with amazing stories. I have a handful of miracles that I've witnessed, let's just say. And I've performed hundreds of miracles on myself first. That has then given me the confidence to want to invest. Like, obviously this stuff costs money and time and heart and spirit and all this other stuff, you know. And I'm gonna go even more into it. I'm gonna go deeper into this rabbit hole of vibration, understanding how vibration and harmony really works on a practical level. I have to be an energy healer. It's like it's forcing me to be an energy healer. I was working with my pendulums. It was obvious what was happening. Like, it was undeniable what was happening when I started working with my pendulums around this stuff. So what I would want people to do, what I'm encouraging for those who have the heart, for those who have the will, for those that have the intention, is to adopt a mindset of an alchemist, adopt a mindset of a martyr, a trial and error. So I'm not coming to you as some perfect, I know it all, but I've built a whole bunch of tools that I know the world